See how you're doing. Oh, it's live now.
We're live now, back with the 36th episode of Chatting with Nuts. I have to kind of ignore how many hours I've spent on the show, or I will realize that I'm going to be losing years of my life as this keeps going on. But I'm very happy to be back for another episode. Hello, everyone in chat. Hello, we're watching after the fact. I am joined today by my semi-permanent co-host, Alan, from the Library of Allenxandria. Alan, how's it going, my friend?
I mean, it's going. They're all waiting for the mood reveal.
It's back to school.
Oh yeah. I got home like shortly ago. How many times have I been on this thing? Like, am I just every other guest? I think it's like every other person is me.
So I've been trying to do you once a quarter.
It's like once a month now.
Listen, you message me and you say Chatting with Nuts, and I say absolutely.
It's because you're my only link to the outside world. I'm like that kid that was kidnapped by Ethan Hawke in that Black Phone movie. You're my black phone that lets me talk to dead people.
I am happy to be your phone, Alan. I'll be whatever you want me to be, brother.
Cool.
Whatever you need me to be.
Jimmy, I'm not sure I've talked to you since the last time I was on this thing.
We have not.
This is also why I do it, because I haven't talked to you in forever, and it's the time that I can actually, like, I can set aside time to actually talk to you, as opposed to during the week when I've got a million other things that I'm just like, what am I even doing?
Yeah, I think I hit you up to tell you that I picked up the Monster manga because I showed you that it all like connects into one big picture, which is just sick. And I'm reading Monster right now with Sarah Reed's. Actually, we're going to be reading those together, and we're on the first one. I've already watched like quarter of the show in anime, but it got taken off YouTube, unfortunately, and there's no other way to watch it.
They took it off of YouTube?
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I was watching it. What?
Yeah, I was watching it, and then I saw episodes start going down. I was like, oh no, and then it was off, and I was like, well, I'm not buying a DVD player.
Well, those douchebags. That's unfortunate.
Sucks, right?
Indeed, that sucks. Well,
but the manga is great, and the art is beautiful, and I love that I'm getting to do it with Sarah because I love talking to Sarah.
Sarah is determined to do stuff with everybody except me. Like, I don't know what I did to Sarah. Maybe it's because like she likes Jay Kristoff too much, and I think Jay Kristoff is a tryhard. So I don't know what it is. There's too much pressure to be on your show, Jimmy. Everyone's like, oh, guaranteed to laugh. This is going to be a great. Like, what if it's not a great time? Then I've let everybody in the audience down the same way I let everybody else in my life down.
You have never let the fans down anytime you've been on this show, and we always worry about it. You know, I think Leanna actually messaged me last time you were on, and she's like, what in the world do you and Alan have left to talk about?
Word.
And I said, plenty.
Word. Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, I'm sure we got plenty to talk about. I'm certain that's coming, Emily, because at some point he's going to ask me about school or something. And I'm sure I got something to say.
But, Alan, how's getting back to school?
Are we really going to do it like at the beginning?
Don't we always?
Hold on. Did you really, Kevin? Look what Kevin just said.
Oh, wait, what is this? He said, Alan, we made a whole drinking game for tonight.
Really? Am I allowed to see the criterion or the criteria?
They mentioned it in my Discord, but now I can't remember. I know it was like, no one reads the books I read. I don't have time. I don't have time was a big one. I think that the over under was 5, and I said I said 5 was a solid bet. I felt like it was good.
Word. That's word. That's word. To be fair, on the way home, I started the audiobook of Stoner.
A man after my own heart.
On the way home from work.
Is it not just like really chill and melancholy? Like, it's so easy to follow.
I mean, I really like the opening where it's like, hey, this guy touched almost no one's lives and then he died. I feel a kinship with William Stoner.
I knew with the education background that you would appreciate some of the BS that he has to go through.
Yeah. Well, he's on a farm currently. I'm on like, the first like 6 minutes of the thing.
Yeah, you'll I feel like you'll want to talk about it when you're done. I feel like that's one of those ones. I know Joanna actually also wants to talk about it, so maybe we'll get that discussion going since we're not.
All these people in the comments are trying to force my conversations like early. Like the education system, KJ Parker. I got plenty to say about all those things, but in due time. I mean, Okay. All right. Fine. Here we go.
Oh, no, you let them win.
Whatever. So first of all, Florida fell from 42nd to 43rd in education this week, or this last month. It fell recently. And I just saw a story yesterday that 20 teachers have already quit in my district. School started 2 weeks ago. We're still missing in my district 50 teachers. In the state of Florida, we're missing between 5,000 and 9,000 teachers. 5,000 and 9,000 teachers, depending on the source you ask. And so my district's solution is, it's always commiserating. They're always like, oh, we just like, we understand. And like, we just know that like you guys are hometown here. So the solution is they're going to start before school having a 4-day like boot camp, like 4-day like university for new teachers. Because the only people they can get are people that don't have teaching degrees. Like I didn't have a teaching degree either, but so it's just people with 4-year degrees that don't have teaching degrees. And so they think people are leaving because these people don't have enough training. Like they don't have they haven't gone through enough of the rules on how to do it, right? Or like they think that's why people are leaving. Like that's the reason, because they're not prepared. No, they're leaving because the job sucks. That's why they're leaving. They're leaving because those people who are brand new, they get the worst kids. They don't hire brand new people to take care of the kids. They hire the brand new people and they shunt them with the delinquents. That's why they're going, because the kids are brats and because they ask them to do too much. And a lot of them are like, wait a minute, like I can go do something else and I can work less and make a similar amount of money. So that's why. But no, they insist like, oh yeah, like this is going to help. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not going to help. Like you have to do something about the system.
So what's the boot camp entail? Like I don't know.
They're gonna try to give 4 years of education in 4 days.
Wow.
Look, I knew nothing about. I am shocked that I did not get. I mean, I'm glad that teaching is a scarce resource and sucked, because 10 years ago, my first year, I should have been fired. They should have fired me. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not allowed to do that. Oh crap. But they're not gonna fire me because who are they gonna get to teach Latin? The answer is nobody. So. It took like a year and a half to really kind of get my feet. And now, now I know what I'm doing. And now I'm the vet that's old hat. Hold on. I got to read these I got to read these comments. Oh, I'll read them in a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'll read your comment in a minute. But so other things, and this is how out of touch the administration is. All right. I got an email today, and I can't make this up. Yo, I cannot make this up. I got an email today because I read it to my students. I got an email today. I'm going to pull it up right now. I got an email today from the district communications, the internal communications, sent to all teachers, or really everybody in the district. Studio apartment. Read only if you're looking for a small rental. If you're interested, contact the landlord below. We don't usually send these, but we know many new employees are trying to find a place to live. This was sent out to teachers, employees of the school district. What? They link the freaking landlord's message. Hi, my name is insert landlord's name here. Studio apartment in Panama City, Florida. My unit is $1,300 a month. And they said it's the teachers. That is almost one of my paychecks for one room. Like how delusional are you that you're sending that to teachers?
Yeah,
a teacher can afford a $1,300 a month studio apartment.
It's a bit out of touch.
It's ridiculous.
Just a bit out of touch, I would say.
It's ridiculous. And then yesterday, I lost 20 minutes in every one of my classes because the superintendent and the sheriff decided that they needed to have an assembly.
The sheriff?
Yeah. The sheriff and the superintendent decided they need to have an assembly for everyone in the school. And so I had to be stuck in homeroom and I'm sorry, homeroom? I don't know those kids. I see those kids twice a year to give them their schedules. And when I'm forced to administer the SAT to them, half of them have 1-point-something GPAs. Like they're not, I hope, like I could get in trouble if people watch this. Like, so I hope that doesn't happen. But like, they're just like, the kids don't want to be there. Like, I don't know them. I don't teach a good cross section. But so we had to go to this thing that literally could have been a video. It could have been a video. And it's talking about how little tolerance they've got now. First of all, they're like 10% of y'all are making 90% of the problems. And if we got rid of you guys, the schools would function fine. And I'm sitting in the back like, okay, there's a solution. Shunt them to Rosenwald. Shunt them to the delinquent school. If you know that they're the ones causing the disruptions, see ya. Shunt them to Rosenwald.
Honestly, not to interrupt.
Go ahead.
You don't get enough credit for your vocabulary. I've never heard the word shunt in my life.
I appreciate that.
That's a fantastic word.
Thanks. But then it's talking about like you can't like make threats and like don't shoot up the school and all this stuff. And
solid advice.
Yeah, I know. But anyone who's mentally ill enough, wants to cause harm to a bunch of people, is not going to be turned from that by a assembly by the superintendent. Oh, you know what? You're right. I was going to cause great harm. Now I'm gonna be a productive member of society now. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And then it's like we're going to have zero tolerance. You're going to destroy stuff. You're going to bring drugs. You're going to bring alcohol, marijuana to this campus. We're going to have no tolerance. You will be expelled. I'm like, you're going to have no tolerance until that child's parent is wealthy or connected or both. Then you're going to have all the tolerance in the world. So don't sit here and blow smoke up anybody's hind parts. Like, don't do it. And you know what? Bless his heart. I really do think the superintendent wants to do good, but it doesn't matter. Because the second someone with any kind of clout starts making waves, they're going to cave because they do every other time. And so I had to waste my freaking day doing this stupid thing that nobody need to do. And it's just frustrating because everyone's priority is in the wrong bloody place. Every single person. Now, I will give credit to my administration. They are trying to make it not miserable for teachers. I was in the middle of lecturing and a freaking luau-laden cart pushed by two administrators came into my room to give me a donut and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And I literally stared at them for a second. They looked, they're like, are you okay? I'm like, this is strange. Like doing something that could be morale boosting to teachers. That's like, I'm not really processing what's happening right now. I'm like, I mean, I'll take it. Okay, cool. But I was like, good for y'all. Thank y'all. Like for, at least trying to make the teacher at your school doing, what you can. It is just so bloody frustrating. They act like they have no idea why we can't retain teachers, retain teachers. And I'm just so tired of people sitting here acting like you don't know. You do know. They get no respect and they don't get paid. So that's how you fix it.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, it's a pretty tough problem to solve. Like you were talking about your superintendent doing the conference or whatever, like the big meeting, like, hey, don't do bad things. Oh, I'm enlightened. But that is a very hard, I'm not sure what the answer is to that. Like, do you feel like there's just has to be some sort, and this is kind of going more back to like the pay and stuff. Like, do you feel like the whole system has to change, like from the inside out, like literally how we do everything, the way it's structured?
Okay, so the American way is that when we do not fix it, we do not do proactive maintenance. Right. We do reactive maintenance. So we wait for something to break and then we fix it because we have to. The bridge that collapsed in Minnesota, 10 years ago, like they knew that bridge needed to be repaired. And they didn't until it broke, and then they had to. And the reason that happens is the reason that everything's broken in America is because money in politics, money and power. It's always that. Because repairing bridges and roads and infrastructure is not sexy. It's not sexy. It costs money. It's not a sexy thing that you can go out and inflame your base with. So you can't say, oh, we're sticking it to the fascists, or, oh, man, we're really nailing the commies. Like, you can't do that with infrastructure, right? And spending money is unpopular with everybody, especially if you're spending money on roads and bridges instead of whatever the sickle-waving Soviets want to spend money on and whatever, the freaking the fascists want to spend money on, whatever, right?
Yes.
So what they do is they don't fix it, knowing that or hoping that it's going to break on the next guy's watch, hoping that they're going to be out of office by the time it breaks, because then that guy is going to have to do the unpopular, unsexy thing of spending the money to fix that thing. That's why that is literally why things are like that, because no one wants to be the guy who has to pay for something that people don't find, exciting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nobody wants to be Jaehaerys. Jaehaerys Targaryen built the King's Road.
100%. Oh yeah. And the thing that makes me mad is I talk about the Romans and the Greeks. So in Rome, and I'm not saying that Rome had it all figured out because they freaking didn't, but a lot of in ancient Greece and Golden Age Athens and in the Republic of Rome when it was working, it was the politicians, the people in power, who paid out of their own pocket to fix those things. It was like it was part of your duty as an influential Athenian or Roman to maintain these things. So you maintained the temples, the roads. Like Caesar paid to fix the roads himself. And people are like, oh, and then they voted for him. It's like, oh, you fixed the roads. Thank you, Caesar. But he paid out of his pocket. Like, can you imagine? Like, let's think for a second. Let's think. Instead of spending billions of dollars buying another island, right? Or another this or that, or whatever these billionaires are freaking spending all of their money that they could never spend in a lifetime, but they've got to compare EP, right? Because it has to be like, oh, look at me. I didn't get enough love or popularity in high school, so I have to make sure that I live vicariously now. Suck it, Chet. This is your comeuppance for putting my face in the toilet in high school. Chet. I wanted a varsity jacket. So imagine if these people poured that money into the education system, like poured it and reformed the bloody education system to where we had quality teachers and quality education. Just imagine a world that was like that, where it was poured into this kind of crap. Like, there is money. There is money to fix this crap, but no one who has the money wants to put it towards that because it's not sexy, because it doesn't increase their prestige. It doesn't increase their power. It doesn't increase anything else. And I'm sorry, I sound super foul and angry. I'm tired, and I'm just tired of being told we don't know how to fix it. Yes, you do. You just don't have the stones to do it because it might be unpopular with the voters. Who cares what the voters think? You're not supposed to get in office to give a crap about, like, you're supposed to do what's good for the people, not what's good for the people who want, like, to maintain their hold over every bloody thing. I'm talking right now in classical studies because I'm talking about Philip of Macedon, who was taken hostage, like, who was hostage in Game of Thrones? Like, Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Taken hostage to ensure the cooperation of Balon, right? The same thing happened to Philip of Macedon. Philip of Macedon is taken to Thebes to ensure, like, Macedonia, stays whatever. And while he was there, he observed the assemblies and the democratic assemblies of southern Greece, and is like, these people argue all the time, and they undermine each other. Like, the Theban assembly called Epaminondas back from Sparta when he was winning, kicking the crap out of Sparta because they didn't like it, the fact that it was Epaminondas that did it, because it was the opposing party. So they called him back and tried to put him on trial. And he's like, man, kings are way better. And I'm not saying that a monarchy is better, but I am saying that when you have a good monarch, things can be done. Because guess what? Education system's broken. Guess what? I'm fixing it. Boom. Education's fixed. Oh, okay. Guess what? We're now paying teachers 6-figure salaries. But we can't. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Because I said so. How are we going to find the money? I'm like, I don't care. Let me see. Who has too much? Who is wasting? Who is sitting on a pile of gold like Smaug in the Misty Mountains? Find that person. And why don't we put their money to good use instead of sitting as fake money, making more money? Like, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Like, no, you're going to be productive. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, Walker's a sickle-waving Soviet. No, I'm not. And if that's what you're getting from this, you just don't want stuff fixed. Like it's not a political issue. The fact that we have to talk about, if we try to make education political, that's dumb. Everyone should want an educated populace. Everyone.
I agree.
Everyone should. I'm so tired of hearing about what important job teachers do. I'm tired of hearing it. Like, if it's important, act like it is. Because you can say one thing. You can say, I love you to your significant other. And then you can beat them to a pulp repeatedly. But only one of those things is true. Either you love them or you beat them to a pulp repeatedly. They cannot both be true. And I'm sorry, the things that you do have more weight than the crap that you say because it doesn't cost anybody a dime to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm yelling on your channel, screaming like,
No,
I'm just frustrated.
No, I get it, man. It's very frustrating whenever, especially, I like to think that my audience and your audience and the people of YouTube in the book sphere, mostly, most of you watching, understand where Alan's coming from, and it's not a position of politics or anything. It's a position of common sense, and frustration for someone who actually works inside of the system. And I think all of us kind of see things that are broken. We say, well, why are they still broken? Like, why are they not getting fixed? And that can be extraordinarily frustrating. I want to apologize to all the Chets out there that were watching.
Sorry, Chet.
Someone said that Philip Chase immediately felt bad for Chet. I laughed very hard inside about that because Philip Chase is the fountain of empathy and compassion.
Sorry, it was the first generic high school brat pack comedy name that I like, jock name that I could think of.
Like, what do you like? Was there a Chet in your past?
I've never known a Chet. No.
I mean, that seems very rude of you to judge all Chets without even meeting one. If you had met one, I would accept it. But
like every time in my class, I'm like when I'm like, I didn't join a fraternity, and I just like badmouth fraternities. My students are always like, Mr. Walker, you tried to get in a fraternity, they didn't let you. I'm like, do I strike you as someone who wanted to be in a frat? Like, do I strike you as the frat boy?
Well, they speak Latin, right? Don't they have like Latin symbols and stuff?
No, they have Greek letters.
Oh,
and they wear togas, which the Greeks did not wear. The Romans wore togas, not the Greeks.
I thought the Latins and the Greeks were the same thing.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy! No, you did not. You did not think that.
See, my bad teachers, they let me down.
The Romans and the Greeks are not, in fact, the same thing. The Romans were the STEM kids, and the Greeks are the freaking humanities majors that get forgotten about because of the STEM kids.
Oh, well, see, my history teacher actually did a boot camp like about 2 weeks before school started.
You're the worst. You're the worst.
I like being able to tie it all back in. It's kind of my talent here. I just I filter what you give me, and I tie it somehow back to books eventually, usually about an hour in.
100%.
And then somehow we have to figure out why you don't read as much as you should.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Has there been anything positive happen since you've been back to school?
Yeah, I mean, I love my kids. My Latin ones. My first years, because I'm furious at my second years. Like I told my second years today because I gave them a vocab test over the review vocab, meaning I gave them all the words that we did last year and a handful of new ones. So they've had the words for, a year or 6 months at least. And that was 2.5 weeks ago, right? So I gave them vocab quiz today. Half of them failed it. And I'm over it. I'm over it. So I told them today, I said, guess what, guys? Next week, you're going to have another 50. You're going to have another 50 question vocab test. And when you fail that, you're going to have another 50 question vocab test. And when you fail that, you're going to have another 50 question vocab test until one of two things happens. Until one, all of y'all freaking pass this thing. Or two, those of you who can't seem to pass a vocab test, get out. You need to withdraw yourself from the class because I'm done. I'm done with this. You cannot succeed in this class. You can literally do nothing else that I'm about to do if you refuse to learn your words. So I want you to get out of the class if you're not going to do it, or I want you to pass this. And you know what? They can play chicken with me all they want. I will fail every bloody one of them if they refuse to just learn some words. First of all, I'm mad because they're going to make me do what I hate doing. Literally, when I put these grades in the grade book, I'm going to email every one of the parents whose child fails. And I'm going to tell them that they failed. And I'm going to say, I don't know what your kid's path forward is because without this, he can't do it. I hate emailing parents. I don't want to talk to parents. I don't want to do that. So the fact they're going to make me email their parents, which is something that I never do, but I'm done. I will pull out, I'm going to pull out the nuclear option in order to get these people to learn their freaking words. I'm done playing with these children because it is not something that is impossible. They just refuse. They refuse to put in the time. I guarantee you, every one of those kids that failed doesn't have a Quizlet. You know, the kids that do have a Quizlet, they missed one or two. Those kids who actually studied only missed one or two. These other kids, like, I'm done. So
I've never liked second years.
Like my second years last year were like, I love my second years last year. They're my third year. They're my AP kids who are now up in arms because they strong armed me into taking AP, and I told them it was going to be hard, and now they're weeping because it's hard. And again, I'm like, guys, it is hard. You got to do work at home. Like, you have to do work at home. We don't have enough time in class for me to cover this. We're behind. So, but my first years, our club, like a bunch of first years have joined the club, and they are like, they're interested. They come up to me all the time and try to talk to me about, you know, like Roman stuff. One kid's obsessed with the Byzantines. Like,
that's cool.
I think I have a good crop of first years, which has never happened. Like, once in like 10 years it's happened. So that has been really good.
That's a good trend. We're starting off on the right foot.
Yeah. So I hope. But yeah, so that's good. I mean, I like teaching my AP class. It is extremely challenging, but I think it's very rewarding.
Are any of these the kids that were on Jeopardy?
Yeah. So two of them, the two girls are in my AP class, and they're not the ones crying. They're just exceptional. Like, they understand it and are ahead. It's my other kids who aren't quite like, I mean, and I love every one of those kids in AP. Like, those are they're fantastic. They're just not all, they don't all get it as quickly. You know, and they have other things that aren't their favorite. Like, the kids that are really good at it are the kids who, like, Latin is like their thing. Like, it's their favorite thing. So, but yeah, the two girls are on it. And then Josh, your boy, he's in classical studies again, along with the girls. So we're learning about Philip again.
Hell yeah, Josh. Way to go.
I know, right?
He was the real MVP.
So how have you been, Jimmy, while I catch up on these comments?
Well, I'm good, man. So I think for about 6 straight episodes, I kept telling people, you know, I was real stressed this week, and this is a big relief. And I kept saying at the end, and I think I thought it was just a bit, but it wasn't. I've been really in the depths searching for a new job, and I finally got one. I finally got it. So,
you're looking for a new job?
I was. That's why I've been so stressed, like, over the last few months.
Did you lose your job? Did you quit your job?
No. I just stopped liking my job, and when I don't like something, I fixate on it, and it really brings me down. So I was able to finally find something that I really, really am excited about. So I secured a new job. I accepted the offer. I'll be starting in the 2nd or 3rd week of September. I can't remember. My last day at my current spot, which is like the best feeling ever, by the way, is Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So, you know, the slacking off has commenced. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited. It's
so you're short. Are you short timing it?
I'm just along for the ride, you know. You get to do your farewell tour. You know,
it's like short time in it.
It's like the last 6 months of the presidency. You're doing this a lot. You know, you're doing the princess wave, you know, remember your greatest hits. Remember that one time in stand up when I farted and the mic was unmuted? You know, it's like that kind of stuff. So feels good. But yeah, I'm just glad. It's like this huge weight off my shoulders. And the job I was at was not terrible, but I knew it was time to move on. And there's a whole imposter syndrome thing when it comes to coding. And you always wonder, like, am I just good because I'm at this company and like I do a specific thing? Or if I went somewhere else, could I succeed? And it's a very, you know, the unknown's scary for anybody. But 5 interviews, I had to go through 5 interviews for this company. And it was very intense, but I passed all the tests and stuff they gave me, and I was able to secure it. So I'm pumped. You know, first thing I thought of, though, I said, how am I going to be able to balance the channel and reading with this new job? Because, you know, when you first start a new gig, you got to like really be in it. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. They seem very, very relaxed. And
is it from home?
Yeah, it's completely remote. Yeah.
Can you can still listen to your audiobooks?
I can still listen to audiobooks.
Jimmy, you're going to be fine. I believe in you, Jimmy. I believe in you, Jimmy.
So Adari says, new house, new job. What's next? New camera. I really want to get a dope camera, but I also
new phone. Who dis? I love new phone. Who dis? That's my favorite. Well, good. Congratulations. Like Thank 5 interviews. I can't even believe that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it was something, you know, and you're always waiting, you know, and then it's like, okay, you got the offer, right? You accept the offer. Then you go through a background check, which my background's boring, but I'm still like, what if I fail the background check somehow? Did I fill out the paperwork right? And that finally came back. It was like, you're like good to go. So that was great. One of the engineers that I interviewed in the last interview, I did in this office, right? Kind of like this. This is how I did my interview. And the first thing they say is, you definitely do some sort of content creation. And I said, I sure do. And then they said, second, is that a Brandon Sanderson Way of Kings back there? And I said, it sure is. And then
nice, very cool.
So reading fiction does pay off, folks.
RJ, thanks for showing up.
Thank you, RJ, for the 5 spots. Very generous. Says, congrats, Jimmy. You guys are the best. RJ, you are the best, my friend, with the DNF hammer. So I was excited. I was just hoping they wouldn't see the Wheel of Time and be like, I love the Wheel of Time. And then I'd have to be like, me too.
I wish they would have seen Wheel of Time and been like, we can't give you this job. You have Wheel of Time merch. Sorry.
Imagine if they hated A Song of Ice and Fire. I would have been screwed. You know, I've been like trying to like throw stuff to knock the banner down.
Are you going to watch doesn't the Lord of the Rings thing come out like next Friday?
Yeah, it comes out next Friday, but
are you going to watch it?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it. You going to watch it?
No. Like, okay, hey, bingo people. I don't have time. I don't have time for that.
There we go.
I don't have time to watch stuff that I want to watch, let alone like freaking. Like, it's not even Lord of the Rings. It's freaking Great Value brand. It's like the processed cheese product.
Dude, I don't know. I think the visuals look pretty great. I mean you know,
everything
else is up for debate, but I think the visuals
look really good in Final Fantasy VII Remake too. Too bad the game is trash.
Wait, you didn't like that game?
No, it's garbage.
What?
You know what the problem with modern day RPGs is? They spend way too much money trying to make that dang thing look pretty, and they forget to make it fun and have a story that makes any sense.
Well, why wasn't it fun? I had fun. I had fun.
Your spells can miss. You're playing a turn-based thing where your spell can miss. You have cast time, and you can miss because the enemy moved out the way.
Get good.
What do you mean? Oh,
get good.
Get good to me. It's poorly designed. Look, all the hate, pile it on. I feed on all you Final Fantasy VII fanboys. Like, pile on me and tell me how good it was. I hate that game. Like, literally, it's so bad. I play every JRPG, and I've already told my buddy Finn, I'm like, Finn, I ain't playing the second one. I'm not. Like, I'm not playing. We call it triangle demo because that's all the game is you press triangle, and then you have a cutscene, and then you watch a cutscene, and then literally the game lets you move. Without exaggeration, it lets you move like from a slide that's here on the playground to a slide that's here on the playground, so you can press triangle and watch another cutscene. I'm like, you don't have to give me control over that. You can just make that one big cutscene, like, because otherwise it just seems disjointed. And also, oh my gosh, it's so boring. It's so boring.
But you love Tales of Rise, and you can miss in that game.
Mr. Magic? Sure you can. Sure you can. Yeah, you absolutely can. But they're going to cast on their own. I don't have to make them cast crap. The AI is just going to keep casting stuff, and it casts it way faster. And I don't have to do it. Well, the combat's not as punishing in Tales of Arise.
There is definitely.
And look, I don't like people controlling my party members ever. I wish they'd let me control all of them, but they won't.
See, I just want to control one character. I get too involved. You know, when I'm playing a game, I don't want to micromanage. I used to back in the day, but now
give me 4 characters that I can control myself.
If you had to pick 3 characters from any fantasy book or video game to be in a party for a JRPG, who would you pick?
From books
or video games? But you know what? Books. Let's keep it's a book.
Books, because otherwise I'm just gonna put video game characters.
Yeah.
I'm putting a video game. It's gotta be people who'd be good.
Well, what's your class first off? Like, if you're a JRPG, like what?
My class?
Yeah.
I'm a what did they call it? In 4th edition, they had what was called Ardents, which was like emotion magic. Like, they use like the power of their rage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't think they have the Ardent in 5th edition. But like, I don't know. Like, I'd be the demagogue class, some kind of like cleric, some kind of voice cleric, some paladin cleric, something like that. Because I don't want to fight, so I ain't gonna be a paladin. But I need to be like, I'd be some kind of cleric.
Okay.
I'm still trying to work with these freaking comments. I do not have a Karl Marx poster. Big old beard. So
who are you picking for a tank?
As a Karsa Orlong.
All right, let's go.
Look, Karsa's that unlockable character you get in like the last third of the game that just like rolls over everything. Karsa would be insane.
Yeah, honestly, you could probably just 2-man it at that point.
Look, Malazan would be a fun JRPG. I guess it wouldn't be a JRPG, but I think it would make a good RPG.
I agree.
So
In fact, I would say out of all the worlds, that has to be in the top 3 for me. If anything were to be made into a video game, just because the magic is so devastatingly powerful.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Like, and the thing is, it can be powerful and still only do like 5,000 damage. When you summon crap in Final Fantasy, you're literally calling down like a dragon who hurls a planet at your enemies, and it does like 5,000 damage. And it's just like, oh, okay, that's some strong soldiers.
some strong soldiers. They must have had their Wheaties. I could get down with the second Apocalypse video game. I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm just being kind of spoiled right now with the stuff that I'm reading, and it's going to be tough coming out of this month. I don't know how other books are going to stack up for a bit.
Have you had a good reading month?
Yeah, so it's not like I'm reading a ton, but the things that I'm reading are like all-time favorites. So I'm reading The Second Apocalypse by R. Scott Baker. I'm on the last book, which is The Unholy Consult, and I literally think his second series, The Aspect Emperor, is like I think it's like the best. Like, I think it's so good. I really, yeah. And I'm trying to, I'm going to talk about it a bunch eventually on a video. So I won't go on and on and on, but I'm reading that while simultaneously also reading through The World of Ice and Fire again. And like, I'm just in the Westeros right now because House of the Dragon came out. I loved it. And if you guys haven't checked out the video, yeah, it's just like I'm so in right now. And if you guys haven't checked out the video, I did post a House of the Dragon versus the book. I think it's pretty light on book spoiler, and like Fire and Blood's like a history text, so I don't really think spoilers matter. So even if you haven't read Fire and Blood, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, spoiler alert: Caesar gets shanked.
Exactly. It's not
like, but I mean, I feel the same way, Jimmy. Part of the problem that I'm having is that I am so invested in the classical history stuff right now between Quiz Bowl competition, my classes, and like that's where I'm invested now. So like I really want to be reading the Greek and Roman like historical fiction fantasy books that are there, like the Cicero trilogy and Gemmel's Greek stuff and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm kind of in on. I have had a terrible reading month. Like I read a KJ Parker novella. That is what I've read. And then I have soft stopped 3 things. And I started a 4th. And it's not that I'm not going to go back to them. I am. But I'm trying to find something that makes me like not want to do the other stuff that I have on my plate and read it. Like none of those books are bad. They're good. I mean, they're good. Like, but it's just like, they're not compelling enough currently to make me like not, I don't know, to get me off the couch, stop running around as Bayek of Siwa, climbing the Great Pyramid of Giza.
So are you telling me you probably soft stopped The God Is Not Willing then?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm coming back to it. It's just it's just dense. Like it's just dense.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I can't deal with dense right now. So it's there. It's literally right here. I have a stack. I'm going right back to it as soon as I can. I liked it. Like little Carsa's little dude, I guess
rant.
Dude. Yeah, rant. Yeah. I like and him and Damask, like I was enjoying it, but it's just it requires more focus than it requires more focus than I have currently. Like I'm having some executive dysfunction problems, like to where like in September I'm going to see like a neuroscientist thing that's gonna hook up nodes to my brain. So I can see my brain fire, but I'm not allowed to have any coffee and I can't take my medicine because she wants to see what it's like without any, of the stimulants that I normally have in my brain because I'm just forgetting a bunch of stuff. And it's just really frustrating. Yeah. And speaking of KJ Parker, another thing that's frustrating. So Zara finally was able to get in touch with KJ Parker via email by emailing like every one of his publishers, and someone forwarded an email to him because she wanted to get him and us on a stream because the man has no interviews anywhere. Like he's off the grid. So I'm like, that sounds amazing, but his internet sucks.
No, dude, what is up with authors living where the internet's terrible?
His internet sucks. He hasn't left his house really since like COVID, and he doesn't want to leave his house now. So Zara's like, well, I'll send you like a 4G dongle. He's like, I have one, and it still sucks. And so Zara's like, well, you're coming to London, like you're coming to England, the UK, right? Like, when is that? And I'm like, Zara, like, I don't even know, one, if they're going to let me go. Two, if I do, it's a month after when you're talking about. Three, it's part of like, learning how to be a tour leader with this company. So like, I'm going to have time to like grab a bite with the UK people, but I'm not going to have time to like take a train like 2 hours away. Like, they're just not going to let me.
Yeah.
And so Zara is going to go interview KJ Parker, and I'm not going to be able to be there.
That is one of the most that is one of my life's most disappointing things ever. Like, ever. It's like, like what? Yeah.
What do you mean I'm not interviewing KJ Parker?
That doesn't feel right. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm happy for Zara because Zara was my very first like convert, but I'm just like, man.
Yeah, absolutely nothing against.
It's just very, very disappointing. But I don't. It's another thing I don't understand. We can take pictures of Jupiter, and we can get audio of a black hole, and we can take pictures of Pluto, right? We have something on the surface of Mars that sends pictures back to us, right? Why is there anywhere in the developed world that you don't have good internet access? How's that possible?
Can we get KJ Parker some DSL? Like, can we get him just low band? Like, it doesn't even have to be great.
I don't understand how it's possible in the developed world in 2022 to not have internet. Like, I don't know how there's anywhere. Like, I went to a camp it didn't have any cell service, but it definitely had Wi-Fi. Like, I just don't understand how there's anywhere that doesn't have like the internet. Like, it's 2022. It should be standard in the developed world. Everyone has bloody internet or has access to bloody internet.
Yeah, that is a bit perplexing, isn't it?
It is perplexing.
It's very perplexing. Man, I'm sorry. That honestly sucks. And the fact that like so many things have like gone into this, and then for you not to be there. But wait, you're going overseas. Is this for the Rome deal or what?
Okay, so the Rome trip is also becoming a disaster. So
I'm not surprised.
My life's falling apart. My life is literally just freaking.
Stop falling apart. We're gonna get through this. All right.
My life is the movie San Andreas, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Everything's just falling down.
Can I be The Rock?
But so since I've never gone with this company before, they're like, oh, well, you can go on a little mini trip where we show you what a trip looks like. And the thing is, I don't want to go because it's 4 days and I don't like traveling, but Christina really wants to go. And I'm fine with that. Like, that's the impetus to make me go. But if it was just me, and I know people think I'm crazy, like I would turn down a free trip to London, but I would, because I hate traveling just that much. Like, I hate it so much. And it's only for like, so 1 day traveling, 2 days there, 1 day traveling back. And I hate it. I don't want to do it because it's tiring. And I don't like traveling traveling has become a punishment inflicted upon the world. Like, you are not allowed to be comfortable or take joy in traveling. You're not. You must be miserable. And they do everything they can. They're like, oh, you've got leg room? No, we're taking that out. Sorry. Oh, you had Wi-Fi? No, gone. Guess what? If you're on Spirit Airlines, we're not going to let you sleep. We're going to come on the thing and we're going to wake you up being like, oh, come on, put your hands in the air. No, I'm not going to put my hands in the air.
Put your hands in the air.
Get your hands off that stupid mic.
I'm in the air.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in the air, like literally.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go there in November on that thing. But the Rome trip, when I signed up, I had us flying out of Atlanta, which is 5 hours from where I am, because last time I went, I had 5 kids go. No, it ain't no journey before destination. And then the first time I went, I had 8 kids go. So I knew my wife was going. So I'm like, okay, 5 or 8, whatever. We'll drive them to Atlanta. We'll just like hop in our 2 cars and we'll drive them to Atlanta. Well, now I got 33 bloody kids and 4 chaperones going. So I got 37 people going.
Jeez. But
we're flying out of Atlanta. I don't have a way to get all of these people to Atlanta reliably. Like, yes, everyone theoretically, like parents we could all like take like 20 different vehicles. That's asking for something to go wrong.
Yeah.
So we looked into renting a charter bus. Well, a charter bus, like at first I looked into switching it to flying out of PC. but that's an extra $350 each kid's going to have to pay. And it's too expensive. So we looked into renting a charter bus that we could raise money for. Charter bus is $4,300 one way. And I'm like, we're going to raise $9,000. No, we're not. And so then I'm like, oh, well, I'm going in the middle of the year this time instead of the summer. Maybe it's with the school. And one, I can get TDY, which means I don't have to burn leave to go. And two, I can rent a school bus.
Yeah.
Well, I found out that it's not with the school. So not only can I not rent a school bus or a charter bus at the discount that the school gets, but also I got to burn my own leave, and any fundraising we do can't be done on school campus because it's not a school trip.
So it's not a school trip. So this is just for the club?
It's closed. It costs money. So it's like any kid who wanted to go that I teach, but it's not with the school. It's not with the school. It's with a private travel company.
But did you set it up?
I set it up. Yeah.
Okay. One
of my other teacher friends said that they asked the principal all this stuff prior when she took the trip, and he was like, yeah, no. So it's not a school trip. I mean, which means I don't have to get a whole bunch of paperwork filled out because it's not the school's responsibility. But it also means that, it's just a disaster. So we have no idea what we're doing. So anyway, I'm still scrolling through.
You're brave to volunteer to take these kids.
I thought I was going to be taking between 5 and 8 kids, and it'd be super fun. I thought I was going to be taking those, and now I got 33 of them. And I already told them, I'm like, if you complain, I will send you home because you are in Italy, and there's nothing you should be complaining about when you have the privilege to be able to be here in Italy. So shut up. I don't care if it's hot. I don't care if you're getting rained on. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care if your feet hurt. I don't care. Shut up. So,
the sauce is too spice. That is a quote from the show Oz, which no one else has ever watched. So.
I haven't seen it. Well, I haven't watched Oz on purpose because of the brutality. But they will kill you in Italy. Like there's like a literal feud over pizza in Italy because Naples, the Neapolitans invented pizza. And it's that it's like this.
They're the ones with the 3 flavored ice cream, right?
I mean, yes, literally. But they, I used to call it Napoleonic ice cream, but when I was younger, I didn't know Naples was a thing, but I didn't know who Napoleon was. So I was like, why is Napoleon?
Well, of course it's him. There's no other way.
I don't know. But, so Naples has it's this thick, like more Chicago style, right? This is thick pizza, with really thick crust and and stuff. And then Rome is very, very thin. It's very, very thin pizza. And like Rome pizza I like Rome pizza way better, but they didn't invent it. And we were in Naples the first time I went, and I was like, Rome pizza's better. And the guy we were with was like, no, they would fight you. Like you cannot say that. You cannot say that here. Like they take their pizza very seriously. So
I feel like pizza is honestly a big cause of like division in the world. The toppings start the worst arguments ever. Chicago and New York, you can't go. Like if you're from one, you can't go to the other, obviously, or bad things will happen because pizza. And now you're telling me that Italy is heading towards a civil war over pizza. I mean, this is crazy.
Literally. It's Civil War. It's going.
Oh, there it is. Nick agrees with you. Said Rome pizza is much
better.
There
you go, Nick. Yes, Nick's smart. He's got it.
Fascinating.
Hold on. I'm still making it through. Okay. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
I mean, I'm just blown away that you are basically volunteering to take those 37 kids to Rome. Like you're a madman.
I mean, yes. So it has the potential to be really fun, but also really terrible. And it's going to be fun, I think, in a different way. Like there was nothing like being able to just see all of my kids with me. Like it's pretty intimate experience where, I'm just talking to them. We're with a larger group. So we're with a group of 20 something. And then, I got my 4 or 5 kids and we go off and do our own thing in free time. But now everything I do, I'm going to be swarmed. And I'm in charge. I can't see everyone, which is why I have other chaperones I'm going to be these are your kids. Make sure you know where they are at all times. But it will be fun having that many people. It's going to be a good experience for everybody, but it's going to be more stressful than when I was just with a handful. Next time I will cap it. I will cap it on the next trip.
I mean, could you just cap it now?
I mean, yeah, it's capped. I mean, I can't kick the people off who have already started paying. It is capped now. I can't take any more, but I will cap it from the beginning. I'll say I'm taking 12.
I had to cap my Kingsguard, which are my high tier patrons, because I do a monthly hangout, and we were starting to push the limit of what Discord would allow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I never honestly I thought like 3 people would sign up for like the high tier. And yeah, so I actually had to put a cap on it because
what do y'all do in your monthly hangout? Oh, that's right. You don't have a public Discord. I forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah. So we just hang out, talk books. Usually it breaks down into some sort of dating conversations, like people who are dating. Dating's real, not like inter Discord in my Discord, but people just talk about their dates. Like my Malazan channel in my Discord is literally just people talking about how their dating life's going. It's very interesting. I don't know why it's the Malazan channel. I don't know how Steven Erickson would feel about it. But you know, he seems like a pretty chill guy for the most part. So
hold on, was Cicero in the drinking game too? I got them with KJ Parker.
I think
they're retconning on the bingo board.
I think they're retconning. I think they're just putting stuff back into the drinking game.
Oh my gosh, I cannot catch up with all these.
Yeah, you're not going to.
No, I am. Like
you are?
It takes me 3 hours and we'll catch up with these people.
Kev is upset. My Kingsguard hangout is tomorrow during National Race Championship Day. Kev's a big fan of NASCAR, so
that's good. I mean, you've been stressed and it's for sure. You've been stressed and working on finding your job, which is good. It's stressful. Like I haven't made any content in a month other than
well, you can tell when school's back because you and Philip Chase both reduced the amount of videos you're releasing at the same time, and I go, oh, school must be back. Because I think Philip might have missed a day or something, and everyone was like, "Is Philip okay?" Like people had me worried. People were like, "Hey, has anyone heard from Philip? He didn't post a video this week." And I'm like, you know, my worst case, I'm like, "Oh no, something terrible's happened to Philip." But turns out he just had a birthday. That was it. So
yeah, I had to send a video to my patrons being like, "Hey, guess what, guys? I have massive burnout. Like I'm burnt out at school. I'm burnt out on reading. I'm burnt out in life, and so like." I hate reneging on commitments, but like I'm having to hit a hard reset. Yeah. What do you mean? I do. Yes. I always feel really bad. Like the one time I had to cancel this. Yes. I will fight you, Jimmy. I will beat you in wrestling again. Just like in Florida.
You're slacking on Dres, and you didn't read The God Is Not Willing. You canceled on me. What else?
I canceled on you one time and I felt really bad. And I also feel really bad about those other 2. Like that I haven't stopped reading Dresden. I got Summer Night in the stack right here.
Summer Night's good.
I'm sure it is.
I think you'll like Summer Night.
I bet I will when I can read it. I bet I will. But I gotta hit like a hard reset. And I gotta literally like cut the cord on everything that I'm under because I'm never going to feel like I'm not buried unless I do.
Yeah.
Like, all the reviews that I haven't filmed, screw it. If I haven't reviewed it now, it's not going to get reviewed.
I did that like a year and a half ago. I had a backlog. I had like Fever Dream by George R. R. Martin, Salem's Lot. I had all these books. I was like, I've got to review these. And I just eventually said, you know what? Like, it is what it is. I'm never going to get caught up. And then that was kind of when I decided, like, I'm not going to review every book I read anymore. And then this fall, I got a lot of stuff planned. Like, I'm reading Swan Song. And next month, I'm reading the new Stephen King book next month. And then I'm doing the Lord of the Rings read along here on the channel. And then there's something else I'm supposed to read. Oh, I think I'm going to read the 5th Sun Eater book that's coming out. So it's like, I got all this stuff planned. And when I get a lot of stuff planned in like a short amount of time, I start worrying about like the other stuff. Cause there's other stuff I want to get to. Right. Like Bejeweled is someone I really want to read. And Daniel Abraham, I'm literally staring at Age of Ash right here. And then I got Long Price Quartet.
Read the Long Price Quartet.
I will, but I think what I've just come to the point now where I'm like, the things that I've mentioned on the channel, like I'm definitely reading those, and then anything else at this point is a bonus.
Yeah.
Like Evie keeps trying to get me to read Gormenghast, and it's like I would like to, but it takes a ton of brain power. And yes, I forgot, I also pledged to reading it in October, and that is not a short book.
Why do you keep pledging to read these long books when Long Price Quartet, the whole series is 1,200 pages?
Well, the Long Price Quartet is in the same air as Aspect Emperor was, and it's like I know I'm gonna like it, so I save it for a slump. Like it's like it's a reward. You know what I'm saying?
I guess that sounds sus.
I think Long Price Quartet's gonna be #1 priority next year.
I caught up on the comments. Oh, that's good. I mean, that's good. I have got to be. I have to find a way to where I'm not thinking about work all the time. Like I just have to. But like if I'm not like, I just feel so guilty for doing anything that isn't work. And that's just because I need to get work done, but I don't want to. And so, yeah, so I'm trying to find something that's going to like reinvigorate me. So I'm just going a hard stop on everything else and trying to just read like I'm going to go like whatever. I'll be a mood reader. That's fine. Cool. Like I just have to find something that's going to excite me. Like I have to. I just have to. I've got to find something that's like, oh man, I got to read more of this. And I just haven't gotten to it yet. So I have a stack of books over here that I want to read, at least the first one of. And I'm just gonna read. Like even if I'm just reading like freaking Parker, I guess I'm just gonna read Parker stuff. Like, and you know, no one will know anything I'm gonna read. I got books over here, ain't nobody ever gonna read. There you go for that.
Well, can you tell us what they are? You said you have a stack.
Yeah, I will in a second. And hold on. And yeah, the other thing is, like, I think I have to go back to reading the whole series at one time because that's what I used to do. And that really helped with my excitement if I just read the series instead of waiting a month between. So maybe 1 month, all I'm doing is reading this one trilogy. Like,
I'm with you.
Like, that's how I used to read before I became, before I had a channel. And I think I miss that, like of just like going from one book to the next book, because that's momentum. Like I need to build and keep momentum, just like at school and in our club and stuff. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? We'll see. And like I said, I want to read some of that historical fiction.
Yeah, I'm with you actually. Like even early, and if you go back to my channel, like it'd be like 1 month would just be like all one trilogy, whether it be Memory Star Thorn or Robin Hobb or Dark whatever it might have been. And I've gotten away from that. Now, some of that's because I read a book one and I'm not compelled to just start book two, right? Like the Winnowing Flame trilogy, I read the first book. I thought I did a review for it if anyone wants to hear my thoughts, but I thought it was okay. And there was some stuff I was interested in. I started book two and I just kind of like fell off. Like I was like, I can't read this right now. It's not what I want to do. But I've been reading Aspect Emperor by Baker. And while I have been reading other stuff as well, just because I was waiting on those chats because I'm doing spoiler discussions, like getting through those in a reasonable time frame and kind of binging them and also having people to read them was wonderful. That's been so much fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. And you know what I picked up this week? I just, for no reason at all, I started the audiobook for book two of The Expanse because I love book one. I love the TV show. And I'm reading book two and I'm like, why didn't I just binge this? Like, I love this. This is something I objectively like just enjoy. Like I can throw it on. It's not the most dense thing in the world. Very entertaining. I like S.A. Corey's writing, both Frank and Abraham. And it's just fun. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have like done this earlier. You know, like I kind of regretted I could have been further along in the series. So I'm kind of with you. I think reading everything at once is a good idea. If it's what you want to do, which clearly we both tend to lean that way.
I look like an orc.
You do look like a WoW orc. Oh my God.
I know. I did that and I was like, look, I look like a WoW orc. Exactly. Yeah. I completely get that. It's are there a bunch of people reading that in the Discord?
It's like 3 of us. One actually, no, it's 4 right now. 4, and then we have some veteran readers in there as well. And Aspect Emperor by Scott Baker is probably the craziest thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
It's bleak. It's bleak. Like this isn't really
bleaker than the first series.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Like it is hellacious, dude. And not in a grotesque, well, it is grotesque, but it's not like in a like blah, look how gross I'm being way. It's like so biblical in the way it's written. It's fascinating. It really is. I don't think this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. But basically Baker at one point in, I think it's the 3rd book, I just finished it. He just randomly out of nowhere, we're 6 books into the series, he just has a chapter in second person. And it is the trippiest thing I have ever read in my life. I read it twice. Me and Shelf Unstable, who is saying the Aspect Emperor makes Prince of Nothing like a Disney movie. It is like the craziest chapter. I've never read a chapter that has like stimulated my brain more. And me and Shelf Unstable, we're going back and forth, and Mitch was also in there. And I mean, it's just, it's something, man. It's something. It's crazy. I think there's a chance I got to finish this last book. There's a chance that Second Apocalypse could slide into like my number 2 favorite series ever spot.
Very cool. And number 1 being
Song of Ice and Fire.
Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. Which to solidify it, when I started reading back through the World of Ice and Fire, I immediately stopped reading my Baker book as much because I was like, oh my God, I forgot how much I love this. So like it kind of put it in perspective. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I definitely want to read Baker, but it's dense and I can't even. I just can't. But I want to. It is on high priority list of when I return to the Cerebral books.
I think the historical feel of Prince of Nothing would really intrigue you.
Yeah, I believe it. Like, because what I keep wanting to do is go back and listen to the Bloody Winter King or Warlord trilogy. And I'm like, Alan, don't listen to that. You literally like listened to it like 6 months ago. But I want to because it's good. So yeah, so that's what I want to do. But Christian, what up?
Christian, my boy from Lost Discover says, Alan Jimmy, the madman has decided to buy One Piece physical copies. How long is he going to last? Okay,
well, Jimmy works in a STEM field and so can afford to buy all the One Piece physical copies. I have to watch it on the internet. And I was so tired of being behind in One Piece. And my buddy Macon, who restarted the freaking series doing this one thing, started talking to my brother about it. Like he had finished the first arc of Wano, which I was right before. I was on Reverie right before it. I said, screw it. I have to get, because I also said, you know what I really wish would happen in One Piece? Like I really wish this particular situation would happen. I've been waiting the whole time for this kind of situation to happen. And the look on my brother's face, I was like, are you serious? And he's like, I'm just saying Wano's really good. I'm like, I must watch it now because the thing I've been waiting 1,000 episodes to see is going to be real. And so there's this thing called One Pace, which removes a bunch of the filler because 90% of the later episodes of One Piece are reaction shots where every single character has to react to every single thing that happens. And then they're like 50% flashback to literally stuff that was like two episodes ago. It's like, no, I know. I saw that. Why are we flashing back to that? Stop. It's a bunch of filler. And yeah, it does cut out some of the little extra stuff. So you're not going to get every joke or whatever. But I gave it a trial basis and I've watched like 7 of the One Piece episodes because each one is like 2 chapters of the manga. And I haven't missed anything. If anything, I'm like, where are the flashbacks? Like, I'm just like so conditioned to expect them. Yeah. I haven't missed anything. It's still funny. Like, there's a little girl with shuriken, like she's pretending she's a kunoichi and she's like acting like she's throwing ninja stars. And this is the reason I love the anime because it has voices. So she's like, and I'm like, yes, those are the best noise. And then this one guy goes, I love the voices in it. And so I'm really enjoying it, but I'm tearing through it because it gets rid of the side episodes that are not canon, which sometimes they're funny, but most of the time I'm just like, I don't care about this. And it just gets rid of a lot of the filler. And I don't have to watch the commercial breaks and the beginning and the end, though the theme song now is really cool. But I'm really enjoying it. So I think I'm actually going to finish the bloody thing and catch up. Because I told my brother I'm going to catch up to where One Piece is. Then I'm going to finish watching the rest of the episodes on Crunchyroll because One Piece isn't caught up to the anime yet, but it's almost there. And then I'm going to read the manga to catch up with my brother so he and I can talk about it. And then I will just watch the episodes as they come out.
So where are you watching this like cut down version?
It's on onepace.com, onepace.net. And you download a torrent and it like gives you like chunks, like batches of episodes at a time. My favorite. Do you watch the anime, Christian, or do you read the manga? Yeah. Manga. There's one of my favorite things that we still quote, me and my friends. Luffy is eating something, and before they eat, the Japanese say "itadakimasu," like which is thank you for this food or whatever. Itadakimasu. But Luffy just goes "itadakimasu," and I'm like, why are you saying it like that, Luffy? But it's ridiculous. And so since it's ridiculous, we walk around, like my friends and I, like when my One Piece friends are together, we're about to eat and we go, "Itadakimasu." And then Zoro and Sanji going, "Baka." Like, there's nothing like the One Piece voice actors. They are so good. They make me so happy.
I watched the first episode of the anime and I actually liked it a lot. But Patrick kind of advised me that maybe I should do the manga instead.
That's because it's slow. Like it's so
Yeah.
slow. If I had not, I just I've never really read manga. That's really the thing.
Mhm.
And I got so hooked because I've been watching One Piece for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like I started watching the anime when it was in Alabasta, which is the first real
Listen,
major arc.
Alan, you only started getting to One Piece after Murphy and Daniel Green started getting 300,000 views on their videos. Don't lie.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've been watching the show for 20 years.
I don't know.
I have been watching. Yes, I agree, Christian. They're absolutely phenomenal. And I'm gonna talk about Babel in just a second. They are like they're like, if I wasn't so used to it, like I tried reading the manga like right after Dressrosa to catch up with my brother, and I've just missed the anime too much. But now I found the good way with One Piece, and then I will read the manga when I have no more anime to watch, just so I can catch up. But I love it. But I don't watch a ton of anime and I don't read a ton of manga. Like I'll read Vagabond with you when you read it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I told you that last time. Yeah, I'll read Vagabond with you when you get it. And I watched Monster because the subject matter interested me and it was good. It's character study. It's great. And I've watched like Erased and the first season of Promise Neverland, which is one of the most perfectly paced shows I've ever seen. And then the second season is like it's as if it is a completely different show run by a team of blindfolded chimpanzees. It is awful. The second season is awful. But the first season is phenomenal. I don't like Ace. I don't like Ace. Like Ace is dude, bro. Ace is Chet. Like Ace is like, ugh. I don't like Ace.
Chet's duck headshots. Bop, bop.
I don't like. I was never an Ace fan, but I do like. I like Luffy. I like Sabo.
Everybody likes Luffy.
But so I have heard that.
Well, let me read it because we get audio only people. All the time. So Nick says, Alan.
I didn't realize that. I was wondering why you always read me the comments. I'm like, Jimmy, I can see him.
Listen, it's all about the user experience, bro. It's accessibility.
I know that. I just now realized that. I am very.
This is why I'm the best at what I do.
I know. That's why you're the GOAT. That's why you have 1,000 more subscribers than me.
Oh, I probably have more than that now. Blah, blah, blah.
Shots fired. I'm looking it up right now.
Nick says Alan would love the new Arf Kwong book Babel. I'm pretty sure of it. It's about languages including Latin. I think Alan knows a little bit of Latin and academia in the British Empire set in Oxford. I have heard almost nothing but good things about this book, which kind of does happen with new releases. But even people who didn't really like Poppy War seem to say that they feel like this book is better. It went from being like, I'll get to it in a few years to maybe I'll get to it in a few years. I'm I'm kind of excited.
First point, it's fewer than 1,000. It's only like 700 more. So
what?
First of all,
are you having a resurgence?
I mean,
are you buying subs?
Yes, I have a bunch of dummy accounts. I'm Andrew Tate now.
Oh no.
Someone needs to meet him in a dark alley and introduce him to a brick. Seriously. Seriously, like, what a chump. Sorry. So about Babel. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, this could be interesting, but I also was like, this is 700 pages long. And then I started I read like a sample chapter or like the preview thing, and I saw like a bunch of the buzz about it and like what kind of book it's going to be. And I'm like, I bet this book's going to be, I mean, you can just tell from the subtitle. I'm like, this book's going to be really pretentious. Like it's going to be really pretentious. It is. And that's, I mean, you know, I'm a pretentious guy, so it's fine.
Are you?
I mean, I use words like pulchritudinous. So yeah. But then I started looking up before it even came out, I looked it up on Goodreads and I saw all the 5-star ratings. That book didn't come out. All the 5-star ratings from all the Yas Queeners who are just like, oh my gosh, my queen, yas, I'll read anything. I'll give 5 stars to you write the grocery list. And it's the freaking cult that follows like RF Kuang that is like, oh, I can't wait for Yas Queen to destroy me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't be a part of this. Like I can't. Like, and the thing is I don't know if I'm going to like the book because the book was always destined. It was never going to get a bad review. It was never going to do poorly. And the thing is, I liked the Poppy War series. I did not like The Burning God. I thought it was bad. Like, I thought it was not well done, especially compared to the first 2. But it was getting it. You can just tell. You can smell it. Like you can smell the snowball of hype that's coming with all of the screaming Yas Queen like fangirls and boys, like all the fan people, like yeah.
Slay.
Yeah, look, I say it all the time. Yeah, like look, I turned Archelaus Macedonian. King of Macedon, Archelaus 1 to Archelaus, like in my class. That's fine. He slays. I'm okay with that. I'm good with the lingo, right? I don't want to be chuggy, but you can smell the hype train. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to tolerate the discussion surrounding this book. And from every review I've read, that's what it is. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this shattered me. This is the most amazing thing. Like take my baby, lead me, queen. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, and so it makes me not want to read it because I guess a bad Yas Queen. It's like, I guess I'm just a bad, like, I don't know.
But here's the thing. All right, so I'm gonna defend it just a little bit here. Because actually we were talking about Second Apocalypse, right? And in my Discord, that channel is very small. Like there's like 6 people that check it probably regularly. But me and Amanda are so high on this series that I imagine people will come in and read us going off like the slog, boys, no weepers on the slog, which is like a catchphrase, which is just amazing, by the way. And people are probably going to read it and they're going to go, what? But like in the moment, I'm like, this is genius. This is great. So I think that people just get caught up a little bit, okay. Right? And it's cool.
I do understand that, but this is on your Discord with an obscure, relatively book that, like, this is not on Goodreads before the book has come out. Like, that's the issue. Is that it started before it was ever out. 5 stars all across the board before it was ever out. Like, when De Castell comes out with his next book or Bancroft comes out with the next book, am I going to like it? Probably. Like if Terry Pratchett came back from the grave and wrote another book, would I like it? Guaranteed. I'm not going to 5-star that beast before I read the dang thing. And I'm not going to be like, Yas, Queen Terry, write my shopping list and make a joke. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's not.
Well, I mean, I always say, like, I'm super biased. I love George R. R. Martin. But if Winds of Winter comes out and I think it sucks, I'll say it sucked.
No, like, tell him, Yas Queen, Beard Man, give it 5 stars before it ever comes out.
Let me go around your moat.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, sail me on that ship, Martin. Like,
show me your toy collection, dude. If folks
like, I don't know. And it just feels like Babel just feels like I don't know if I'll like it because it does deal with things that I like language and linguistics and stuff like that. But I'm worried that the veneer over it.
Yes, I get it.
Like Oxford,
it's exhausting.
These college students who I don't know if they're going to be insufferable or not. And so like I don't want to have to wade through a bunch of stuff I don't like to get to the stuff I do. So I don't know. I really need someone whose opinion that, like, who I know isn't caught up in the hype to read it and tell me if it's good or not.
I think Nick, honestly,
if Nick read it and liked it, I mean, that does lend it credence. But he likes he likes Wise Man's Fear better than Name of the Wind. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that take. So I don't know.
Hey, you never know. Terrence, not Tanner, says, I am reading The Darkness That Comes For next month. If it sucks, I'm unsubscribing. I support this. Also,
dislike, unsubscribe.
A lot of big shout outs to the George Martin Turtle King and people getting behind the railroad being his middle name. And Lost Discovery says, show me your toy collection, Germ. And this is a piece of Germ lore, George R. R. Martin lore, that people aren't aware of. But if you go on YouTube, there is a Game of Thrones extra video, and it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's George Martin showing the actor who played Shay his toy collection.
Why?
I have no idea why it exists, but it is like a kid showing off his sandcastle thinking it's going to get him babes. Like, it is the funniest thing ever. He's like, "Oh, hey, Shay, here's another train. It's another train. Can you believe it?" And she's like, "Oh, that's wonderful, George." And he's like, Dude,
that's so weird.
He's just like this pervy old man. Dude, it's so ridiculous.
So weird. Really quickly, Christian, to return to your question about my favorite arc. So my favorite arc is like Water 7 is excellent for obvious reasons. Marineford is where it's at. Dressrosa, if it wasn't so bloody long in the anime, would be amazing because I think Doflamingo is just an incredible antagonist. Yeah, so one of those. I am based. Why is everyone laughing at my Yas Queen? I thought I did that all the time. I do it all the time at school around my kids because my kids do it all the time. Like they do, like everything is Yas Queen. Philip of Macedon, his fourth wife is named Olympias. They will not say Olympias. The girls will call it. They always like Olympias. That's what they call her. That's her name. Like it's got.
People are abusing A's, huh? Like
yeah, like seriously, it's like 4 A's.
Like we have enough A's. You know?
I know. The A's have enough work. They're the STEM kids of the vowels.
People are looking up the George and Shay video. It's 47 minutes. It's worth every minute.
47 minutes?
Yes. Oh man, so fantastic.
And
every single time George talks about the show, he's like, the young lady who played Shay was wonderful. You know, it's just like, yes, dude, it's.
Hold on, Derry, was Philip of Macedon on there too? Holy crap! I really do talk about the same things over and over.
Yeah, and you did spell Queen wrong. It's actually Queen, Kweeen.
Oh, did I? Well, I don't ever write it down. I just say it.
So, what do you think it is about new authors that get these like weird kind of parasocial like fandom cavalry things? Because it's not just her. I've seen it for a lot of the newer authors.
Okay, so well, this is a cultural topic. Like we would have to dissect. We would have to dissect the cultural zeitgeist.
Let's get out the shovels. Let's go.
I'm probably not going to do that. It has to do with it just has to do with certain factors all lining up together, combined with generally a younger populace and certain types of the populace who are older, that they share this propensity for, like, I don't know, like trying to find the fearless leader of some kind of, I don't really know what it is. And I don't really know why the authors that it occurs to are the ones it occurs to. But I absolutely like, seriously, like there are these new authors where everyone is just like, you know, they Yas Queen it up. It's like all over the place. And it's just over, like, it's over weird stuff. Like, here's the thing. If R.F. Kuang had not written Babel and like Josiah Bancroft of the Books of Babel had written Babel, it would not be getting this publicity. It's R.F. Kuang herself that is fueling it. I think it's because she's young. She's like 23.
Yeah, she did a PhD while she wrote Poppy War. That is impressive.
Yeah, it's because she's young and, like, you know, she's just this like really soft-spoken, like, young academic that, you know, people think is totes adorbs. And, you know, I guess because she's younger, they like identify with her more. And, you know, she gets to be the queen bee in their little hive of whatever people who follow celebrities are. I mean, look, I'll be the first to Yas Queen KJ Parker, but I'm with the group that can't find their leader because he's hidden in the woods with no Wi-Fi. And it's literally me and Zara, like, Yas Queening to an empty room. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine, but
People are saying, Kwong being so well spoken and Kwong's speech at the Hugos and stuff. To be clear, Alan's not hating on RF Kwong.
No, I
at
like
all.
the Poppy War. That's what I'm saying. I like the Poppy War.
I think it's a lot of author being online and talking to their fans and being relatable. Yeah, sure. It is becoming that quite. It's quite a shift, especially if someone mentioned earlier about building a brand. Like that is like integral. Here's a question. I'm very curious what you think about this. How do you feel when you see authors dunking other authors or heavily criticizing other authors?
For what? What are they criticizing for?
Their work. Just their work, like on Twitter, like they just send out a tweet, like.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, if they're saying bad things on Twitter, like really.
Well, it doesn't have to be Twitter. Okay. It doesn't have to be Twitter.
Well, it being Twitter makes it less defensible than doing it elsewhere. Okay. Doing it on Twitter, like bashing other people on Twitter, like what are you even doing? Like seriously, go touch some grass. Like there's no reason. Like stop. Get out of the anger factory that is Twitter. Twitter's a toxic place that no one should be in unless you're networking. And that's I think why most people are there. Twitter's awful. Because everyone is constantly pissed off about something on Twitter. Like always. There is no peace. No peace. Everyone's pissed. Other places on social media are slightly better. So I think it's probably tacky. Like, so here's the way I feel about it. It's hard because, like, let's say, like Robin Hobb, for example. Robin Hobb gives 5-star reviews to books that are not 5 stars. And she does it because they're friends of hers, right? Like she knows
right.
them.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me because then people are like, well, Robin Hobb gave it 5 stars. Like, no, I know. You should not trust that. Like seeing authors rate other people's books, it makes them, they are not useful. Like no one should look at what another author said. Like, look, fantasy, the way fantasy should be written, right?
Ought to be written.
Sorry. And that's because it's just the social contract you enter into, right? Like it's just common courtesy. Like if you were an author to not bash other authors' works, you know what I mean? It's why I try not to bash other content creators. I don't think I do. But I certainly don't I don't want to.
There's some pop shots every now and then. I mean, it's fun.
I take pot shots at a type of individual that like, and it's the same thing. Like I don't like people who like.
How do you feel about clickbait?
I mean, clickbait is like Michael Nipp. That's clickbait, and I love it. Like clickbait that realizes it's clickbait and is doing it ironically is funny. Clickbait because that's who you are as a person, I hate. Like all the freaking like video game like magazine websites that are on my Facebook that always be like, oh, Sony just took another game or just took this game off the thing. Tell me what it is. I refuse to click on it. I click on the comments and someone always tells me. Like someone has already said in the comments, for those who don't like clickbait, here's what they're doing. Like, don't make me click on it to find the answer. Like I am more likely to click on it if you tell me what it is, because then I'll read the story. I want to know how it happened and why it happened. But I'm not going to click on it. If you're going to like literally leave out an important detail so I click on it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm stubborn. So yeah. So it's like I don't like people presenting a false opinion and pretending like they think it's true. Like they pretend like they think it's true.
Yeah.
I don't like talking politics, but I like talking about things that are universal.
Okay.
No matter how you feel about the student loan thing that's going on right now, right? You heard about this. How could you not? You're on the internet. Right?
Yeah, which I don't want to.
We're not. But what I'm saying,
we're not going.
What I'm saying is, if you have a problem with it, you can't have had your student loans forgiven. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can have a problem. That's fine. There are many reasons to not like it, and there are many reasons to like it. But if you're one of the ones that doesn't like it because you don't think people's loans should be forgiven, you can't be someone who got their loans forgiven. You can't. Like, that is so disingenuous. That's so dishonest. I don't like dishonest people who do things for other reasons. Like, they say things for political reasons. I hate that.
Well, I think like negative connotation, like especially when it comes to like, journalism or any kind of headline. Bothers me a little bit because we all know negativity gets the most clicks.
100%.
Like if I dropped the rant review tomorrow, just dunking Alloy of Law, I would get way more clicks than just another, hey, no spoiler review for Alloy of Law. But that is also the game that we're playing. So I don't really knock it, but it's not for me. Like I won't click on anything that really has a clickbait, but also like what is clickbait? Because like, for instance, my Dresden, I think I said, so I think I put like Dresden Files review and I put like, is it, or I just put any good? Like, is that clickbait?
No.
I have to reflect on myself. I'm like, is that a problem? Also, like my Name of the Wind title, I put, so I finally read Name of the Wind, which to me, in my defense, I feel like that's starting a conversation. That's not leading you to believe one way or the other of what I feel. Now, does it make it more enticing to click? Yes. So is it clickbait? Maybe.
I think clickbait is what I described, where you are intentionally leaving out information that is important. Like, or when the title of the video or article is misleading for what is inside. Like,
That's
you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, come look at why Dresden sucks. And then they click on it and you're like, it doesn't. This is the reason. Like that kind of crap.
Gotcha.
Yes. Stuff that is purposely, that is mislead, that leaves out important information. So you'll click on it, especially when it's literally information that's like literally just tell me the video game Sony took down, and then the misleading stuff like that is clickbait. Like just having an interesting headline, that's not clickbait. That's just that's having a flair for the dramatic. There's nothing.
It's also fun. It's a lot of fun as a creator whenever you figure out something. You're like, I think this is something that people would be interested in clicking on. Like that is to, at least to me, a part of the fun. But as you guys all know, I just end up doing title in all caps, no spoilers, and roll with it because that's what I do. Also, Alloy of Law was a random example. I didn't hate Alloy of Law, just so everybody knows.
So Alloy of Law is one of the books that I am in. I'm like right.
I saw you were reading it. Yeah,
I am reading it, and it is like first of all, it's dumb. It's the problem. Like the first two chapters, like this first scene with Wayne, I'm like, why is this a cartoon? Like, what is this? Like, there's like people are like, oh, well, the tone's different. No. This is not the tone different. This, yes, the tone's different, but this is like, I don't know what this is. And then it got fine, and it's just mid. Like it's mid. I don't dislike it. Like Wayne is less annoying than he was at the beginning, and I do like the aesthetic. And I'm interested in a mystery. That's cool. He set up a mystery. Cool. Thank you for setting up a mystery. I like that. And so, like, I don't not like it, but I'm having trouble like wanting to pick it up because it's like I'm just not super compelled right now. So I am going to finish it. I don't think I'm going to, unless it wows me in the second half. I don't think I'm immediately going to go into the second book because oh, yeah, you're definitely not Christian. Sorry. I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm just gonna stand outside in the rain, just like I did when
Rhythm of War came out.
No, the Abercrombie one. Wisdom
of Crowds.
When Wisdom of Crowds came out, just gonna stand outside, like looking in the window of the party while everybody's in there playing Dance Dance Revolution while it rains on me. So like I am gonna finish the series, but I don't think I'm not in the headspace to finish it and then continue. It's not the series that I want to continue and binge. You know what I mean? Like I have this stack of books that I told you I was going to tell you what was on it. And then I didn't because
I thought Alloy of Law was fine. I really liked what my friend Tanner said in Discord, and I can't disagree, even though I think I liked it a lot more than he did. He said if this was another author's first book, there would never be a contract for a second.
Oh, if Alloy of Law was the first one?
Yeah. And I was like, that's probably true. But to be fair, there's a leash because he earned it. You know what I mean? Like you kind of like get strung along. And I have heard that the books get much better as they go on, like 2 or 3 are supposed to be better.
I don't think if he wasn't Brandon Sanderson, I don't think the beginning of that book would have gotten past the editor. Like I don't think the beginning of that book is good. I think it's dumb. Like it's dumb. Like it's dumb. Like stuff, it's just dumb.
Man, I might be more positive than you. I mean, I just thought, I'm not going to sit here and say like it really made me think, but I don't know. I guess I was kind of along for the ride. And my expectations were like, I DNF'd Elantris. So I was kind of like, please, I wanted it to work. But for me, I'm kind of the opposite. You said, I probably won't get around the book too if you didn't really like it. For me, I was like, well, let's just get through these other two because like the first one was so meh for me. I'd rather just get through them to see where I'm going to end up. Oh, I got to answer this real quick. It says, how far are you through the aspect Emperor Jimmy? Emperor Jimmy just read the last Everlata scene in White Luck. Guttered understatement. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough scene. I am in the last book. I am 7 or 8 chapters into the final book. So, and I love it, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, Omar, people tell me all the time that I would like Stormlight. But again,
I am
look at how
not
big Stormlight
as
is.
sure that you will like Stormlight.
It just depends. Like, it really depends.
I am not sure. Alan, I can never tell with you, to be honest with you. I have a few things that I'm positive, but I'll never tell you them because you'll never read them if I tell you. So it's just better if I don't and see if you fall into them.
Yeah, no, I know. Like that's the fastest way for me to get anybody not read a book too, is to tell them that I really liked it. They'll be like, oh, I ain't reading that. Like,
I got The Company by KJ Parker sitting.
I know, but you're not gonna read it.
Yeah, sure I am. It's only 400 pages. It's only 400 pages.
So is Shadow in Summer.
Which one would you rather me read first?
You are too stocked with your 800-page books, or sorry, 1,200 in the case of it.
Well,
have you read it before?
I read it when I was like 11 and I didn't finish it because I got too scared.
I got you. Yeah, I read it in high school, ? No, early college.
By the way, I did want to point this out. Everyone makes fun of George for his endorsements, but on the front of Dragon's Path, it says, everything I look for in a fantasy. And I pulled this off so I could pull this out tonight because the new meme is just saying as it ought to be written all the time. But he does vary his statements some.
Oh, yeah. I definitely saw that on Dragon's Path, the everything I look for in a fantasy, 100%. Remus, I did read The Last Witness. I'm just almost caught up with these comments. There we go.
So getting back to authors kind of like reviewing books or having some kind of outspoken opinion about whatever. It's weird because like my gut, I'll be honest with you, when I see an author and maybe they're new or whatever, and they're smaller, and I see them like dunking, like Tolkien or somebody, or like Robin Hobb, they're just dunking them. And I'm just like, for some reason, it rubs me the wrong way. And then I'm like, I don't really want to read your stuff. I don't know what it is.
So dunking on Tolkien is a completely different thing, because that is someone like, really, you're going to dunk on one, the dead guy, two, the guy who like, you're going to dunk on someone. At that point, they're literally being hipster. Like, you're dunking on Tolkien because Tolkien is so popular. So you're trying to be edgy. Like, stop. And you're right. Like, if someone did that, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like
it turns me off, man. It turns me
too.
off. But with that said, my arch nemesis, Mark Lawrence, and people were saying this in the chat, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I was hoping that someone else would say it. I think Mark Lawrence's reviews are really good, and he like goes in depth to why he feels the way he does about a book. And like at first, I wanted to not like it. I wanted to be like, this guy shouldn't be posting like 2-3-star riview on this. And then I read his reviews, and I'm like, dude, this guy is like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows exactly what he's talking about.
But I didn't think Mark Lawrence left stars on books he didn't like. Like, he'll 5-star a book, and then when I see that he's written a review and it's not 5 stars, I'm like, oh, what did he not like? Because I have read, because yes, Mark Lawrence does actually leave opinions. So he just must not care if people trash his work.
Well, I've never seen him put like a 1-star on anything, but I've seen a couple 3, I think. 3 and 4s.
I usually just, then maybe the books he really didn't like, he just doesn't put a star rating, which is nice. Like, that's kind. You're not going to like tear up this person's rating on Goodreads, because people do care about that, whether or not we think it should. I just don't know. Like, I don't know why you pee in the pool you're swimming in. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's also like you completely ruin the chance of ever being able to work with that author if they ever see that. And I always think that that's really, really odd. And this, I think this comes from wrestling. In wrestling, you never knew who you were going to end up working with. You never, even if you thought the dude was the drizzling shits, you would never, ever say that.
For
in a public forum, you know what I mean? And if someone does that, you think they're a goof. And that's just like my immediate reaction. Another thing that I've realized about myself is that if someone does something similar to what I'm doing, I immediately just want to never do it again. And I guess that could be considered hipster of me, but it comes from wrestling. When I'd watch if I'm in the main event, which I was a lot, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. If someone went before me and I was like, let's say that night I was going to do like a superplex off the top rope, and I built all this drama around this moment, and I watched the match before me and they did a superplex, I'd go, I'm not doing it, because you can't. They already saw it.
Yeah.
They already saw it.
That.
Now, bad wrestlers will just do whatever they have planned, right? The real pros improvise. But because of that attitude, it has kind of poured in to booktube. And that's why when I did my House of the Dragon video this past week, I just didn't watch anyone in the booktube sphere, because I was like, if someone posts like book first show, I'll just not do this video, and I really want to do this video. So I just put the blinders on and I just didn't watch anyone's stuff other than a couple like of the bigger creators until after I posted my video. Do you ever feel like that? Like whenever, like for instance, like someone did Jeopardy recently, like did you immediately go, I don't want to do Jeopardy again? Or like,
someone did Jeopardy recently? Who did Jeopardy?
No, come on now.
Yeah,
I did. Slay Queen on.
What? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I did see. I don't know if yeah, you're right.
Well, I'm just wondering when you see when like that, and that's like, I'm talking about very specific things. Like for me, the House of the Dragon, I was like, oh no, someone is probably going to do like what I am doing. Like, not that they're copying me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they'll beat me to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, they beat me to market.
I completely agree. Like, and the person I'm always afraid is going to scoop me on something is Patrick. And I love Patrick, but Patrick reads more than I do. And he is like, he just reads a lot of new stuff and like a lot of obscure stuff. And Patrick's a machine. And so I'm always afraid that Patrick's going to scoop me. And because everyone listens to Patrick. Like everyone will be like, oh, like Patrick, like seriously, like companies should hire Patrick to move their merchandise, because Patrick like is a leader among men. Like people will do what, like we got to hope Patrick never turns evil, because if Patrick turns evil, we're all doomed, because he will just like send the freaking Tenniscowry like after all of us, and we'll just be eaten like, you know, whatever. So yes, the Jeopardy thing, no, because my Jeopardy is so different from the other Jeopardies I see.
That's fair.
Yeah. And like I'm proud of I'm not proud of a lot that I do, like, because I have horrible imposter syndrome and crippling self-loathing, but I am proud of my Jeopardy, because no one else writes questions like I do. Like, ain't no one else got perhaps. And again, perhaps ain't for anybody to figure out. They are for me to use myself and watch nobody get them.
Your last episode was very good.
Oh, man. Just priceless.
It was so good, man. You had like 200 some people watching too.
Oh, I know. Like, I think we had like 257 or 260 or 4 or something at the height, which was like cool. So I really like doing Jeopardy, which I was able to do. I saw that, Arliss. And I love Patrick. I'm certainly not knocking Patrick at all. I love Jeopardy, Patrick. I just looked at her comment, but yes, Zach, yes. And did you see, Jimmy, that Zach made a mock-up of his book with the perhaps title, like in the title's font? It is the best thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, Zach. I gotta find the link. I have to find. Oh no, it was on the story. Zach, I need you to tag me and Jimmy on Instagram. Yes, in that picture, because Jimmy hadn't seen it. Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, I didn't see this.
But yeah, like about books, especially books that I think aren't widely read, because I don't know what my problem is. I don't know why I want to be a trendsetter. I don't know why I want to discover books. It's because I don't know. It's one of my myriad faults. Is like I want to talk about stuff that like not everybody is talking about, you know? Like I'm currently reading a book right now that isn't out, and I ain't telling nobody what it is, because someone will go and they'll read it faster than me, and then they'll put a review out, and then I'll be like, well, like I wanted to be the one hyping this up.
Will you tell me after?
Yeah, I will, because you don't go get arcs, so you're fine.
This is true.
And I don't know why I got the arc. I was just reading like the description. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like something that, like, this is about something people don't normally want to read about. And I'm like, I'll read it. And I started it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like the freaking buzzword city. It's like, good thing I played Xenosaga on the PlayStation 2, and I'm used to proper nouns, because I'm like, and you know, it's an art, so there's no map. Like there's no map in it yet, because you know the final proof hasn't been. So I'm like, I need a map, and I also need like a description where these people live, and a picture would be nice. So it's like doing like this in the dark. But I kind of enjoy that. So I'm reading that. It hasn't like I'm not taken off yet, but the dialogue doesn't make me cringe in the first chapter, which I always love. So thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. And then also clubs. I'm glad you enjoyed Gods of the Dawn. I'm glad you enjoyed that also. I'm if you have not gathered, I am prone to hyperbole. So I say things.
You?
Yeah, I know, right? I just blew everybody's mind right now. So often I say things that are not 100% accurate in the most accurate sense. I overblow things. So people there are people who read the stuff that I say. But you know, I don't know. I just like weird.
It's kind of like whenever you say that no one wants to read the books you want to read for read-alongs, and then you don't read the book that you wanted to read for the read-along. You know, it would be kind of like that.
You know, you mean if we all had to read The Emperor's? I mean, that was my downfall. The Emperor's Blade literally ruined everything.
Ryan Stavely single-handedly ruined your reputation.
He single-handedly broke my channel. Single-handedly. Brian Stavely, you're on my list now. My arch nemesis.
Oh no!
Literally, like
on there with Brian McClellan, right?
Brian McClellan
Is it
did not ruin my channel. Brian McClellan just, I like. There's no way to do it without being rude. Like I don't want to be rude. Like what do I know? He's an author, sold millions of copies, incredibly popular. But at the same time, I just want to sit down with Brian McClellan and be like, man, like, can I run these by you and ask you why you did this and why you didn't just call it a forlorn hope and why every noble's only character trait is how much they hate commoners? Like, why is that the only like personality trait that the nobility has? Like,
I mean, commoners are the worst. Am I right? Am I right?
Right. You can think that. But what if they had another quality to just like go along with that? Like, what if we gave them 2 personality traits? Because the first chapter of Promise of Blood is so good. So it's obviously capable, unless it was ghost written. But like, I don't want to. I don't like trashing people. And Brian McClellan seems perfectly nice.
His podcast is awesome.
I know, but it's like I can never talk to him.
Well, I wanted to have him on, and he said, "I will not come on a show that Alan." No, I'm just kidding.
That never happened. I believe that, and it makes me sad because I'm a bigger fan of his genre than anybody else reading it, and like it should say something that I'm reading them, even though I don't like any of them. Because I really like the aesthetic, and I believe in Brian McClellan more
you hear
than
that, Brian?
does.
You hear that, Brian? He believes in you.
Like I know that he could write a book that I loved if it would just stop doing the things that are not that I hate.
Maybe it'll get there. Maybe he's
that's what I'm saying. But this new series is not that.
Not the one.
I have not heard anybody, no one that I know has enjoyed it. Like even Patrick only gave it 4 stars.
Ernst asks, "Hey Jimmy, did you ever meet my favorite wrestler of all time, Roddy Piper?" I've talked about this on the channel before. I have. I got to do Piper's Pit, ask him who the hell he thought he was, and then his son, who was an MMA fighter in the UK, was getting into wrestling at the time, and I wrestled his son, Gold Dust, and somebody else in like a 6-man tag. I was part of this faction, and his son knocked me out cold, like legit, in the middle of the ring. Good times. Piper was a great guy. I got to spend some time with him, and he gave me his number, and we talked on the phone a few times. And awesome. that guy was way too kind for the business that we were in. He's one of the best that I met. A lot of my heroes let me down after I met them, and he was not one of them. I think he is, one of the ones that you'd never want to lose, right? So rest in peace to good old Roddy. So. Is this leading up to a Yas Brian?
I don't think Brian McClellan has Yas Queen fans. Like, I don't think anybody's like Yas Powder Mage. Yeah. So, but like, I don't know. It's just I don't really understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I still have to read. I'm going to read another Brian Clellan novella. That's what I should do. I wonder if that would bust my slump if I was.
I'm trying to think if there's an author that like I keep going back to that like I'm just like I wish you would just give me a little bit more. There is one, but this is going to be weird because I think both of the books I read by this author are excellent. But there is a piece of me that just wishes it was just a little bit more every time. And that is Guy Gavriel Kay.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I gave Under Heaven 5 stars. I think Under Heaven's a perfect book. Like I think it's phenomenal.
Have you read Tigana yet?
No, I haven't read Tigana, but I always come out of his books going, I wish he would have just thrown in a little bit more like weird, like, and I know he's kind of like historical fantasy in a way, but like, I just come out of it going, I wish I wanted a little more. And that's where like Baker is really working with me right now. And Erickson did this too. It's like, he has a lot of like historical elements in there and stuff, but then he throws in like the awesome stuff. George was talking about this in an interview recently, and he was like, you can't do and I'm not saying Guy Gavriel Kay does this, but he was just talking about how people get inspired by history. And he's like, you can't do the Crusades in fantasy and then make it more tame. He's like, you have to ramp everything up. And that's why Westeros is so over the top. He was kind of responding to how people, like this is more violent than medieval was. And he's like, yeah, no shit. Like, of course it is. Like, yeah. I'm not going to write a tamer version of medieval fantasy or medieval history. I'm going to turn it up, put up dragons, and make all these people insane. Like, that's how you create like captivating stuff.
For sure.
At least for the masses, right? And I always just come out of Guy Gavriel Kay, even though I love the story, I love his writing, his characters are really good, but it just always feels like I'm missing a little bit of the weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like KJ Barker, again, sorry, people drinking it, and someone else had something else that I said on the list. How am I so predictable? Promise of Blood. But they like Parker is technically like he's a fantasy writer. He's always shelved with fantasy. But there's nothing.
Oh no.
There's nothing fantasy in them except a talk of magic having once existed, maybe, or that there are wizards. Like there's these, like kind of like the freaking, Arthur and the Druids, right? Like where like, oh, the Druids have magic theoretically, like whatever. Only you don't see the Druids like that. And then alchemy, like there's alchemy that theoretically does.
Alchemy's cool. I think alchemy's cool.
But it's just like, this is very weird. Like, why is this fantasy? It's all very just a reskin of the Roman/Byzantines/ merchant prince Italy. So I do get that with Tigana has more magic for sure. Tigana's definitely weird.
Yeah, I've had people say that. And then he also has his first trilogy as well. And again, I loved Under Heaven. I thought it was great, but it was just like, man, if I could get this just tuned up to 10, like I would like it even more.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I thought Under Heaven was fantastic.
Yeah. I want to read more Guy Gavriel Kay also, but
Lions was really good.
Yeah.
I think you would really like it.
I definitely I need to go grab that and put that in the pile with my other history books.
Someone bought you Lions, I think.
That was you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what book did you buy me for Christmas, Alan?
Did I not buy a book for Christmas?
No, you did. What did you say?
Oh no.
What did you say? Tell the people. Tell these hard working people.
I bought you the Emperor's Blades. I thought it was no, I didn't know.
And how did that go?
I mean, it went poorly. Like we just said, we broke. Oh, that's right. I saw, I forgot who I put on my list. It was Brian Staveley. Yeah. Ugh, it was bad. Like,
what did I do to you?
My reading life has literally not been the same since that.
I blame Staveley.
Me too. I blame Staveley. I blame like he broke it. Like I don't even make videos anymore because I just don't have the wherewithal because it just tore me up. So.
People are recommending Clive Barker to me because he's really weird. I definitely want to read Clive Barker. Your Brain on Books has been getting after me to read him for a long time. I did try Damnation Game and I didn't make it through it. It wasn't bad. I just like stopped picking it up and I was like, well, that's it. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? If I don't pick up a book for like 4 or 5 days, I know it's a wrap. It doesn't mean I'll never read it again, but like, I know it's over at that point. So.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. So like right now, the books I have on hold, I've got the Aeneid, that I was like, I'm gonna read this since I'm teaching AP and we translate the Aeneid. I'm like, I'm gonna brush up on that. I'm like, I cannot focus on this epic poetry right now. Like, I just can't. I have to immersion read, because the poetry, I'm like, I gotta read it. And then God Is Not Willing is on hold. Alloy of Law is on hold. And what's the other book? Hold on, there's one more. I
The Blade
promise.
Itself?
No, I haven't started that yet.
Okay, that was my next question.
Hold on, there's another. What the bloody heck?
The God Is
I
Not
don't
Willing?
remember. There's another one that I had started and am not currently finishing.
The God Is Not Willing.
I said that one.
I know, I'm just disappointed.
Oh, Six of Crows. Thank you. Six of Crows is the other one.
Oh.
And Six of Crows, I'm like 3 chapters in. But so I just got a bunch of stuff on hold while I try to find something that like is a shot in the arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Summer Night might be the shot in the arm you need.
Really?
I mean, honestly, Summer Night and Death Mass were pretty good. Like, way better than books 1 through 3, in my opinion.
Well, Summer Night's it's in my stack. Summer Night's in my stack.
Just throw that sucker on audio.
No, remember we talked about this.
I know.
Yeah, we talked about this. That's the thing. Like, I thought about that. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to an audio. So I'm listening to Stoner on audio. And I really liked the opening. I was like, oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, except that I'm going to read them because I really hate not finishing books. So it's in my stack. Summer Night is in my stack to pick up and actually freaking read. What's next for you? What are you reading next?
Well, I got to finish the Unholy Consult, and I'm going to finish book 2 of The Expanse, and I'll get those done before the end of the month. And then on the 1st, I'm starting Swan Song, which I'm excited for. I'm really glad to be taking a step away from like real, official fantasy, because I don't know how anyone's going to follow Baker. I really just don't know. Like, I love that dude.
For true. Yeah,
it's so devastatingly amazing. I love it. So I'm kind of glad that I'm going to get a break from that. So right after Swan Song, I'm going to read Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I assume it'll be out by that point, because it's going to take me a little bit to get through Swan Song. Then I'm at my random patron pick, whatever it ends up being. And if there's any time left over, I will probably read. What do I have? Maybe it'll be a Long Price Quartet. Maybe.
You're saying that for next year. Read The Company.
The Company would be a good one because it's a standalone. Now, the only thing I will say is I have to make sure that I'm in the mood to read The Company, because I don't want to go into it like half-cocked. Like, I actually almost reached for it before the Expanse book, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this right now. Like, the camaraderie up on the island. I want to give it a fair shake. I won't lie, but when I heard you were going to read The Blade Itself, I downloaded the audiobook. It's in my library, is all I'm saying.
Haven't you read it?
Yeah, and I kind of want to reread it.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. So we'll see if I actually get to it. Like, I want to, but I was talking to my patrons also. I'm like Leanna does this thing where they all read a book and then they talk about it in a live show for the patrons. And I'm like, I want to read something with y'all. Like, but I just trying to figure out how to work it in. But if I don't have this big TBR and all this other crap I got to do, I can just be like, okay, well, in the month, like, if I am like, I can read 2 books this month, like, I'll read 1. And then what do y'all want to read together? And we can read something together, I guess.
Aren't you reading some Moorcock?
I mean, they invited me along that, but like, I didn't know how to fit that in. They want me to read Augustus, which I'm more inclined to fit in because, again, that fits my history thing, by John Williams, same guy who did Stoner.
Yeah.
So Evie sent me Augustus. So I actually do really want to read Augustus.
I have it, so let me know.
Really? Oh, very cool. Because that's in my stack. Like, in my stack. Did I get Lion of Macedon? I didn't pull Lion of Macedon. I should have. I meant to pull Lion of Macedon. But yeah. So I want to read. But there are people who have told me that I should listen to Blade Itself instead of read it.
You could definitely do it. I don't think it's too hard to follow. And Pacey he enhances the story quite a bit.
That is what I was told. In which case, I have more. There is a larger chance of me reading it if I can do it on audio. There is a greater chance. I'm not saying there's a greater than 0 chance that I'll read it, but the chance is larger. And yeah, I want to read Book of the New Sun. Like, I think I'm going to take a month soonish where I'm just going to read my backlog of patron picks for me. Like, I think I am going to do that, but I need to carve out some time. But
yeah, part of me really and I'm going to get myself, someone's going to clip this and be like, you have to do it now. There's a chance in December, I might just do like 5-6 picks off my patron wheel.
Nice.
And I want to do it because there's so many people, like, because it's random, right? So some people go on there and they're there for months and months and months and months and months, right? And I want to get to more of the stuff, right? And honestly, I love the random element of the wheel. Like, so many things. I finished We Ride the Storm by Devin Madsen. I love that book.
Yeah.
And it's one I've owned for a while, but it never was getting to the top of my TBR. It would have been years before I got to it.
Yeah, same. And I love it too, but only when I have any time to read, because here you go, the second one. I don't have time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I can't like read more than like one book, I just struggle with it. You know what I mean? But I definitely want to. And also, why are you trying to steal my patrons, Jimmy? Like, I'm
not trying to steal your patrons.
I want to read a book with y'all. And Jimmy's like, hold on, I'm going to read 6 books with y'all. And so like,
I'm not even committed to that.
What are you doing to me?
I'm not committed to that.
What are you doing to me, Jimmy?
Taylor's asking if I'm going to read the book 2 of The Wars of Light and Shadow. Yes, but let it be known, I was told that we would be discussing it the first week of August, and it is now August 26th. So I am not start. I don't know if anyone else can finish
it by this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now they got stuff going on. I know it's back to school and stuff, but I will start book 2 of the Janie Ward series, Wars of Light and Shadow, Ships of, I don't know how to say that word.
Marior, I guess.
Marior, love it. I will start that as soon as we do that discussion. I don't want to get ahead in that read along because they're very dense, and I had to take time and really focus on them.
Did you like the first one?
Yeah, I did. I think I gave it 4 stars.
I want to read it too because it's based on historical war, which pleases me greatly. So, but again, you know,
the vocabulary is immense. You'll come out of it with some new words for sure.
I would love to read Wolf Hall, Brandon. Like, I've never read anything by Hilary Mantel because I also want to read Game of Kings, which is Klaus's favorite series by Dorothy Dunnett, which is, again, historical fiction. I'm just on a historical fiction kick, Jimmy. What's my deal right now?
I get it. I've been kind of drawn to it lately as well. Like, I've been kind of wanting to get to more stuff, especially because I'm wrist deep in Gurm interviews right now, man. And I'm like, he just always recommends stuff from like the 50s, and I'd love to read more of them. One of them was like a French translation. I can't remember what it was. Let me look at what it was, because I'm going to put it. I would love to hear people in chat have actually read this before. It is called The Iron King by Maurice Drouin. I'm probably messing that up. But it was written back in like 1955. And he said this is like Westeros before I wrote my series. So
no, that's cool.
And George hasn't led me astray with any of his, like, this inspired me, one of the 1 million things that inspired him. Like, every single thing I've read that George has recommended, I've really enjoyed. Factor O wants to know if Empire of Silence has won the patron pick yet for you.
It has not. They would love it to. They would love it to win. I would. Yeah, I want to read Temeraire. Jennifer, I have the first 2 books, like Temeraire, and they're short, so I need to grab that and put it in this stack too. I do want to read Temeraire. But you know what? I could probably listen to Temeraire, to be fair, TBH, because I can listen to Sharp. So, but yeah, like, I love it when authors recommend like the stuff that they base their stuff on. Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. The problem with Pillars of Earth, Kevin Jenkins says, well, Jimmy, if you want to read historical fiction, you should check out this little known book called Pillars of Earth. It's like 3,000 pages. It's so long. I can't. It's like Perdido Street Station. I want to read that book so bad, but it's like 700 pages. And I'm like, when do I just fit it in? You know, I need to make it a priority.
Read like 700 pages in like 2 days.
Bro, I know you keep saying this, but I've been reading short books. I've read Alloy of Law, which, because it was short. I read Stoner. I read.
Hold on, you read Alloy of Law?
Yeah.
When?
Where have you been? We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, no, I know, but I thought you read it like a long time ago.
No, I read it this month or last month.
Did you really?
Yeah. And
you'd never read it before?
No. I didn't
really?
I didn't like Mistborn Era 1. So it was like, do I do this?
Why did you read Alloy of Law?
Because it was short. Because it's the year of the short book.
What did you think of it? I would have asked you a more full opinion if I knew it was a recent read. I thought you were just referencing something you read years ago.
The Aussie accent's awful. Terrible in the audiobook. Really bad.
Who's Aussie?
Wayne.
Oh,
like, hey, mate, it's so bad.
I read him as like, low class English because he says in it.
No, he has an Aussie accent. It's
rough. That's bad. No,
it's rough.
I'm not picturing that. That's terrible.
But I didn't hate the book nearly as much as some other people have that I've talked to recently. But yeah, like it's fine. Like it's a fine book. I would like to see what happens next. Yeah, I think I'm a little higher on it than you are. Probably because I didn't expect too much, but
yeah, I'm not done with it yet. We'll see. And yeah, as you hear the comments, I'll answer them. Wow, I didn't know. Yeah, so I really want to read the Imperium series, which is the series that the frame narrative is what Justice of Kings, like Richard
Swan.
Yeah, he based like that's where he like got the inspiration for that for the frame narrative in Justice of Kings. And plus I like that time period, and I've heard they're really good. So yeah, I definitely want to read those series. I think I've convinced Theo and the brothers Gwyn to read it with me if I ever get to it. But I haven't read it yet. I can't. If people can't even recognize it, that's terrible.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. But I saw other people also commenting on it. So
it's probably just a bad Aussie accent.
That's what I took it as.
Yeah, it's probably just a terrible Aussie accent.
I would like you read Justice of Kings, which actually it came out this year, didn't it? That feels
February. Holy crap!
That feels so long ago.
Oh my gosh!
Age of Ash came out this year. That felt like
that also came out in February.
Isn't that crazy?
What is happening?
I feel like I don't do enough new releases on the channel. That's one thing. I don't know if my viewers care, but like I'm always. I don't know. I just read like Jack Vance and stuff, which is cool. I want to do that stuff and I'm going to, but I feel like I never read new releases very often. Like, unless if it's like Speaking Bones was the final book of a series. So I did read that, but like, I would really have liked to got the Age of Ash this year. Justice of Kings is probably the book I'm most anticipated that released this year other than Fairy Tale by King. Cause
yeah, my issue with new releases is like, they're never anything I want to read. Like there's just a trend now in new releases that I'm just not like pumped about. Like a lot of the books coming out they're just all in kind of the same vein when I read their like descriptions and stuff. And I'm just like, if I have to see another freaking mythological retelling from the point of view of Penelope, Circe, Ariadne, like.
But you love Madeline Miller, right?
No, I don't. Like I don't love Madeline Miller, and I don't like what the mythological retellings do.
You would love Song of Achilles.
I don't think that's true. Like I don't think either. I would like it. My students love it. But I don't like I guess I'm all right with mythological retellings, but they just don't. They're not retold in a way that like I want them to be retold. Like it's always about, and I don't have a problem with Penelope. I think Penelope's hardcore, Yas Queen.
Yes,
like good for Penelope. But it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to talk about without someone being like, Alan hates women confirmed. No, I don't. Like I don't have a problem.
I am seeing a pattern here, Alan.
I know, but like one that's coming out right now. The author said, "Yeah, I've never even read the Odyssey. It's a retelling of the Odyssey, but I've never even read it. I just looked up the Cliff Notes." I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just people are trying to hit a trend, like something that's big right now. And so it's just like the vampire books that all came out after Twilight. And so I don't like that. And they're just never, I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that isn't interesting to me. I just like weird stuff in my fantasy, stuff that isn't just, I don't know.
You know what, man? I on it, and now I'm going to recommend it to you so you'll never read it. Is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I think you would really like it. It's like an Eldritch inspired kind of like.
I haven't.
I think you might be the person for it. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I did a review and I didn't love the book, but I was like, I see that this could be like very good for many people.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard it's good, and I've been on the fence, like, because it sounds like I could like it, but it
It's
also sounds like
strange.
I could be like, eh. So
You know
we'll
what
see.
you know what it does that
What?
you're gonna hate is
What?
that each book gets longer.
Why do people do this to me?
I hate it.
Why are people
The
so
first book was like 400 or 500 page, perfect page count. I was like, if this was a page longer, I would have been pissed. Perfect count. And I open up the second one, it's like 650. I'm like, gosh.
You know what KJ Parker does?
Get
In the
smaller?
Engineer trilogy, the first book is the longest, the second one is slightly shorter, and then the third one is 200 pages shorter than the other two books.
I mean, that's the kind
Looking
of
at them on my
guy
shelf,
I
I'm like, that's weird. I've never seen that before.
Stuart also endorses Winnowing Flame. He's the one who got me to read it.
Nice. Evie asks if I had read the second and third. I've read the second Fireborn book, Evie, and I have Fury Song, and I do want to read that, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Temeraire is narrated by Simon Vance, who is amazing. He narrated Tigana. He's the one that narrated the Brian Staveley book. That
Yes,
he's so good. Like, he's the only reason I did not despise that. And then Damian Lewis is such a fantastic actor.
Remus, thank you for the 5 spot. Remus says, I find that most retellings just aren't as good as the original myths, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them aren't even retellings. Like, they're just like, it's just the myth from a different perspective, which is not the same thing. I don't know. Shogun, who said they want to read?
I think it was Ben. I think Ben. Oh, the third Winnowing Flame is shorter than the second one. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Still too long. Omar asks, what's the best retelling any of you have read? So unlike Alan, I do like Song of Achilles. I thought it was excellent.
I did not read it. Best retelling? I don't know. Half the time I don't know it's a retelling until afterwards, and then I forget. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite retelling is. But I will figure it out. I don't know. What's your favorite retelling? Is it just Song of Achilles? Have you read more than Song of Achilles? I have no idea.
So here's a question. Would you count Bernard Cornwell's Warlord Chronicles as
yes, it's that one. There you go.
If then yeah, it's that one.
It's that. It's Warlord Chronicles. Done.
Yeah, Corn Dog is king. He is the man.
So good. So good. Elevated by the brilliance of Jonathan Keeble.
Yeah. Simon Vance is fantastic. I loved him reading Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin. So good. He's such a good voice for like a historical record. Oh, Jonathan Keeble is amazing, by the way.
Oh, so good. So
if I can pick one person if like Wins a Winner came out tomorrow and we had an audiobook, I would want Jonathan Keeble to do Wins a Winner.
He's so good.
He's
so good. I wish he'd done more books that I want to read, but he's done a lot of stuff he's done a lot of Warhammer 40K. And I'm like, I could see that I could get into this, but I can't go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, fit to be read. Thank you for the 2 spot super sticker, which doesn't show up for me, but I think it shows up in the YouTube chat for everyone else. Is that right? Can people in chat confirm that? StreamYard, it says super sticker, but on YouTube it actually shows.
In StreamYard it does not appear, but it does in the YouTube comments.
Okay, great.
It's a little pair with a headband going cool, because I have the YouTube comments up.
Thank you, fit to be read. Appreciate you, man. I like this. Bunny says retelling is the wrong word. In my opinion, the word is reimagining.
Sure. That makes sense.
Roy Detrice does butcher the A Song of Ice audiobooks, A Song of Ice Fire audiobooks, but I love him because he's like, I didn't know he was bad back then. So like I have a nostalgia attachment to Roy. But towards the end, he was not in good health. Like from what I understand, he was basically on his deathbed when he was doing Dance with Dragons, and it is evident, which is really kind of sad in a way. That's another thing, dude. With all House Dragon stuff, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Gurm stuff. He's starting to wear his age a little bit, and it kind of bums me out. You know, like when you see someone just getting up there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rough. It's really rough, and you just wonder like the amount of pressure to release things. I don't know. And I was saying about like Hobbs' blog post when she talked about her body being like an animal and how she didn't treat it well. And like, it's weird. Like these people, we spend countless hours talking about their work, reading their work. And like, you just kind of realize like one day like people will grow up and they'll be people of the past. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, for sure. It's
weird.
It is weird. Like, right now, like again, everyone's got their aging authors that they don't want to die before the series is done, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with One Piece, it's like he's still got a ways to go, but dude sleeps like 3 hours a night. Like I am terrified this man is going to die before I get to see the end of this. And then I got 20 years in and I'm not going to see the end of it. Like this, I need this man to finish it, but I don't want him to rush it. I just need him to not die. He needs like round the clock protection, like so that he does not perish.
Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt the journey that you've been on thus far with you wouldn't regret reading it, would you?
No, but I would be sad that I wouldn't get to see it finished the way it was supposed to be. I wouldn't get to see it written the way anime ought to be written.
You got me. I was going to get there. My ears perked up.
Exactly.
You can't turn an ought into an is, Alan. Did you know that?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose. You can't?
No, you can't turn an ought into an is.
What did I say? Did I say is?
No, you didn't. I was just getting philosophical on you for no reason.
Oh man, my brain cannot handle that.
I was being a big brain.
You know what? Motion doesn't exist. Discuss. Motion is not a real concept. Freaking ancient Greeks. How are you, Jimmy? Like, how are you? Like I came out of the gate frothing at the mouth. So how are you? Like, how's the new house? Like, you guys settled in and all that and all this good
man.
stuff? How's the wife?
She's good. Things are good. I just ordered 2 new bookshelves, so I'm going to be changing my setup again. But this is the setup that I have been wanting to do for a while. I would looked into getting some custom signage. Like I have this idea for these neon signs, but man, they are so expensive.
Oh, really?
The neon sign I want with my logo, custom made, $1,000 for like a foot tall and 2 feet across. And I'm like, that's nowhere. I wanted it big. Like I wanted this whole half of this wall to be a sign. It cost me like $2,000, dude. I'm like, I can't do that. YouTube doesn't pay that much.
What?
Yeah. But here's the problem. I do everything way too serious and I go way too hard in the paint. So it's rough. And I did order a prize for myself to celebrate my new job. I will be doing an unboxing on the channel, which we'll see how it does. But it is the Subterranean Press editions of Game of Thrones and Clash of Kings signed by George. Easily the most reckless financial decision I've ever made in my life. I like to tell myself it's an investment.
On resale.
Oh, yeah. There was only ever 500 printed, and I got both in the slipcase in fine condition. And I can't wait. I'm going to clickbait that title. It's going to say extremely rare unboxing or something. And I'll do it. And only the people who watch this will know that it's like kind of a wink.
Jeez and Dro. I mean, I get it though. I have, I was like 40 of my friends and patrons like threw in and got me the Books of Babel, the 3 books of Babel from Subterranean Press. And it's the best gift I've ever received. And like those have the place of pride on my shelf.
Yeah.
Because they're amazing, but they're the nicest books I have. And I splurged for the Dun Manifestin Ultimate Discworld Companion Edition. I paid if it wasn't Discworld, but I paid for it like last October. It was supposed to come out in April, but supply issues and whatever, so it's not coming out until this October. But I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this book. But that'll be another really nice book that I own, but only because it's Discworld.
Yeah.
And
well, that was kind of my thing, and my wife is here. She says I always fully support it. My wife was totally down with me dropping a ridiculous amount of money on those books because they're special to me, man. Mm-hmm. Like House of the Dragon comes out, and I know like everyone's hyped about it, but I watch it, and it I don't know. I'm so fortunate that that's my favorite series because how many of us have series that we would love to see adapted whatever season 8, so it's fine. We can debate that or I even agree for the most part, but regardless, we had a really amazing portion of that adaptation was amazing. And now there's another one, dude, like 2 adaptations.
For sure.
That's insane. And I just, I kind of got caught up again and opening up The World of Ice and Fire, which by the way, is my favorite book I own. Like out of everything I own, even the folios, dude, The World of Ice and Fire, I think it's like $50 or $60. The art in it is so phenomenal. I mean, it's the best book I own. It feels amazing. You open it up, the text is huge. And like also the contents of it, I think, are really interesting. But I don't know, you just get these series, and I realized like kind of how much it meant to me, and I was like, I want something kind of monumental for my collection, which probably this is enough. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And my wife is really supportive too. She's like, I'll spend all this money on books, and she's totally fine. She's like, if you're passionate about it. And then she's like, can I spend is it okay if I spend like $100? And I'm like, I don't care. With how much money I spend on books, like, yeah, go buy the crap you want. My wife does not buy many things. She just doesn't. So she's the saver. I'm the more spending one. But so I'm glad that we both have really supportive wives. And yeah, to have your favorite series have good, like decent adaptations, both of them. Like even if the last season's bad, you had 7 seasons of good adaptation, or at least 6 seasons of good adaptation. Most people can't get 1 season of good adaptation.
Yeah, and think of all the things that come, like these banners. I got a George Funko Pop sitting on top of a very high quality bookmark that is, or bookend that is the iron. You know what I mean? Like I'm very fortunate for that, and yeah, it means a lot to me. So
heck yeah.
David Sloan, 2 spots, says next McCarthy book, that would be Blood Meridian, and I'm going to try to fit it in my next open spot. And he says also y'all doing Stoner. I did Stoner. Stoner's phenomenal.
I just started it today on audio.
Stoner is a perfect book, in my opinion, which means nothing, but for me, it's a perfect book. I thought it was just incredible. But yeah, so here's another thing. And I know everyone's probably tired of hearing me talk about A Song of Ice and Fire for like the millionth time, but
I'm gonna refill my coffee and my cold drink. So I'm listening though.
Yeah, go for it. So like, I think we all read a lot, right? Like this is kind of what we do. We're in our own little corner. Have you ever like slowed down for a second and think about your favorites? And like usually that's why we keep reading, because we're trying to find that high again. Like we're just addicted to that, and we want to find something that's a hidden gem or something we haven't tried yet that people are really excited about. Like that was me with Rome of the Elderlings and Malazan and all these other things. It's like when you go back to your favorite, there is like this undeniable urge to just like gush about it or to dive into it. And I am fortunate to where like I have a channel and I have an audience, so I get an outlet for that. And this is why I try never to like dunk on a series. Like for instance, like I don't really like The Wheel of Time, but when I see someone who like loves The Wheel of Time, it's their favorite series, and like they're going on and on about it, I can like separate my own subjective opinion from it and just admire the fact that someone like loves it that much. So like I have an outlet. So like, the Discords or the comment sections are like where other people, tend to get that stuff out. And I don't know, I just feel like really positive, but at the same time, especially after reading Baker, who's a new favorite of mine. But like reading through The World of Fire and getting into this, I'm like, nothing's ever going to top this. And then I start to get slightly demotivated about reading other things, just slightly. It's not going to be for long. And then part of me also, as being able to come on here and gush, I'm like, I want to make more content. Like making that House of the Dragon video, I'll be honest, it didn't do as well as I thought it would. Like I had a feeling it would be like boom, and it did give me a lot of new subs. But the views were about normal for like a review or something. That was like the most fun I've had making a video in years, like since the beginning of the channel. And I animated Bobby B's mouth. Alan, you should watch it. I think you'd find it funny. I have him call me Four Eyes, and his mouth moves now.
Oh, really?
I figured out. It took me like hours, and Lost in Discovery had to help me, but I figured it out finally how to make Robert Baratheon's mouth move on screen. That was cool. But it wasn't even just that. It was just like making content about my favorite stuff. It's like,
no, I completely agree.
Like it kind of makes me, do you ever feel like you want to like take a step back from reading a bunch of new stuff and then go back to your old stuff and like make content that gets a little deeper rather than just like what we do?
Yeah. And so this is the struggle that I have, is because that's so much work. Like to go deeper into something, it requires more prep work than I have time to commit to, because it's the same problem I have with writing tests or I'm so easily overwhelmed that when it sounds difficult, like when it sounds challenging, I'm just like, I could do it, but I honestly don't know what my problem is, Jimmy. I don't know what my problem is. It takes me so long to get anything done because trying to synthesize all the information in my head about how I want something to go. Like when I'm writing a slide for Alexander or whatever, like I read the information and then it just takes forever and like 3 deletions to decide how I want to present that information. Same thing when I'm writing a test. Like I sit there and it takes me forever before I'm like, okay, this is how I want this test.
Yeah.
So, and so when it's something like that, like I want to do a deep dive on Samuel Vimes of the Discworld Guards books, because I absolutely just want to go back and read my favorites. I want to go read The Company, Folding Knife, Discworld. Like that's literally what I want to do right now, like rather than read anything new. But the idea, like I can't just talk extempore about a deep dive of Sam Vimes. Like I can give like a cursory overview, but if I want to like do something more, it's going to require like work, and like I just don't know how to slot it in. And so since it sounds challenging, I'm just like, that stresses me out. Like it stresses me out. Like I'm hoping the brain lady can like tell me what's wrong with me, and I hope it's not like early onset Alzheimer's. Like I'll be so sad. But I'm just trying to get past. Like there was a time where I could think straight, and now I'm just so scattered. So, but yeah, I completely understand, and I completely understand about. That's why even when I say a book is bad, like Powder Mage, I don't like Powder Mage. I don't think it's very good, but I do know a lot of people that like it, and I don't trash them for liking it. And it's good for the Flintlock fantasy genre. You know what I mean? Like the fact that there is a book in a genre that I really like, a little subgenre that is really popular like that, like that's good. I don't like it. And I wish I could say nicer things about it, you know, but like, and same thing with like, anytime I don't like a book, I don't want to like destroy the series. Like there are people who love Emperor's Blades. There are people who love Emperor's Blades on this stream.
Yeah.
And, I mean, good for y'all. Like, I'm glad someone likes it. And I'm glad Staveley's got a career writing. I just did not like it.
When I was doing the House of the Dragon, like book for show, I was getting so stressed out because I was like, this is my thing. You know, like I want to do this right. Like I'm going to do the deep dive. I'm going to reread this section. I'm going to go all in. And for me, I almost talked myself out of doing it because I was like, I'm going to mess up something, or I'm not going to get enough information. So I said, okay, like what way can I make this more, not easy, but like less pressure? Because I was going to do every single change from the book to the show, which is a lot of work. It's a good video idea, but it's a lot of work. So I said, let's do the major differences between the show and the book. And honestly, it's a little easier to talk about because I find it more compelling. Like, I don't necessarily care if like the hairpin's in the wrong place. You know, I don't care about that stuff as much. So I kind of tried to push it into a lens where like I'm still doing something that I find really, really compelling. So it motivates me to do it and ignore my inner critic, as Erickson says, and get the video out while still providing content that people can like learn something from. And I think that's my problem whenever I want to do these deep dives and stuff, is like the pressure of getting everything right. Because once you publish that video, unless you take it down, like it's there. And then, you know, you'll get a comment or two. It's like, you got this wrong or that wrong. Most people just kind of laugh it off. But I remember I messed up Hot Pie's name in a book tag video like a year or so ago. And it bothered me for like a week.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about deleting my channel. It bothered me so bad. That's not normal behavior, by the way. That's not normal. But yeah, if anything, it's kind of make it like this whole thing and getting in the World Ice Fire and stuff. It like makes me kind of want to slow down a little bit and like appreciate the stuff that I love in the moment. You know, be a little bit more in the moment with the book instead of thinking what's the next read, right? Because that's kind of what
that is so hard to do.
It is, and I think that you saying about going back to reading through a series straight through embraces being in the moment with that series rather than coming out and in to the world, like really immersing yourself.
And then if you're like, I'm in the mood for something different, like grab a different series. And like the inner critic, that's like, it's so hard. Like the inner critic, that's what keeps me from posting, like filming my starting the history series, is because like, I'm just like, the inner critic is just, it's like, there's no preparation I have to do for that. I have the slides written. Like I have 2 years worth of class material right here. Like there's no prep work. All I gotta do is film it. But it's the inner critic. And then it's like, because, I see things like Overly Sarcastic Productions, which does Blue does history stuff. And then Kings and Generals, which has like 1.7 million subscribers, and the production values of that. And I'm like, and then even History Servilis that has like 800,000 subscribers that doesn't have the production values of Kings and Generals, but it's got little squares moving around the board. I'm like, I ain't got none of that. I don't know how to animate crap. I don't know how to do that. It's just going to be me talking with an inserted pop culture reference bit, a clip from something, and popping up like, this is what this guy looks like. Today, I compared Philip of Macedon to Robert Kardashian and Harry Styles. That's what I did today. So, I mean, but it's like, so I'm just like, who's going to watch this crap? Like, go watch Kings and Generals. Every time Kings and Generals boast something about Caesar, I'm like, well, go listen to this guy.
So I'll counter that with the fact that I know there's plenty of YouTubers that have big audiences because of them. Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar, the dude films on a webcam that's out of focus half the stream in a dark room. You can barely see his face, and he has the worst vocal repetitions. Like he always says, now of course. He says like 1,000 times a video. It drives me insane. But he has like millions of subscribers because it's the way he presents his stuff. And he does like everything from like virus investigations to commentary, but he does things that a lot of other people do in a better fashion, like better editing, better presentation. I think it really comes down to the person presenting it. And authenticity goes a long way. So I think you should lean into it, man. I think you should definitely go for it. Like, what you're talking about. There's no and if or but about it. And you have already captivated a rather large audience in our sector. I know we're small on YouTube, but I mean, you're like what we would consider like a medium size. Like we're a medium size kind of channel, right? Some people think we're big, which to me is funny, but you're doing that with a super niche thing.
Yeah,
that stuff is way more popular. So I think you would get in front of more people just based on the genre that you're going into and the information. But you're likable, dude. Like, you're a very likable guy. You're a very talented guy.
Press X to doubt, but thanks.
Press X to doubt.
Press F to pay respects, Jimmy.
F to pay respects. I think you really undersell the value that you have as an educator, but also as an entertainer. I mean, you're entertaining as hell, man.
I appreciate that. But pretty soon Philip's not going to talk to us anymore.
Yeah, are you going to be too hipster to read his book? Like when everyone's like 5 stars for his book, like are you just going to be?
Well, first of all, like I am prepared for that. There's going to be people who are going to 5-star Philip's book because I do think Philip's book is going to be good. I wish he'd let me read it. Like if he like,
yeah, what is up with this?
I don't know. Like if he'd let me read it, I'd read it now. I'd drop what I'm doing and read it now. And then watch. It's going to be the densest Tolkienist book like that I have, and
it's just going to be Beowulf written backwards.
Yeah. It is Beowulf written. Yeah, exactly. Written in New Jersey or Vermont or whatever.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's been honey dicking me. Like he's like, hey man, like I'm going to let you read my book, but like not yet.
He is going to let you read his book after everyone else has read it. We're going to get it. We hold no special place in his heart, Jimmy. He's going to make us read it with the plebs.
So, someone said, people, get you someone who looks at you the way Jimmy looks at Alan. Not wrong.
Thank you, guys. The other issue, Jimmy, that I'm having is I don't like where does it really? You don't like it?
Stuart has like this personal vendetta against that channel. I don't know what it is.
Stuart. I've only watched a couple things because again, I'm just like, it just makes me feel bad about myself. I'm like, I can't do this. And this guy has, this guy's making his living is talking about history, which is just like, I wish there were more Yas Queens in Philip's book. I'm gonna write an ancient Greece historical fiction where they say Yas Queen. I'm just gonna have modern dialogue, and I'm gonna have Alex call his dad Chugi because Philip is like, hey Alex, have you seen that Vimes? You got games on your phone? I'd be like, Dad, that's like 10 years old. And he's like, yeah, but I try to tell my students that my superhero name is the redankifier, because I take stale memes and I make them dank again. I make stale memes dank again. That's my slogan. Make memes dank again. And just by saying dank and stale memes, I already show how unhip I am and how behind the times with the slang I am. So the other thing is like where I film hurts my back, and I feel really like exposed when I'm really stressed out. It's like right in the middle and it's in the open. I like filming at my desk. Like these, the reason I can do these because I'm at my desk. If I was sitting up, I couldn't do it. But the problem is this is in the middle of my living room. It's not in front of my books. My bookshelves are in there. And it's also like, it's the messy room. It's where we put all the stuff that needs to be in the house, but isn't in a bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It's really stressful. And so that makes it harder, because then I'm like, I got to go in there and I got to sit up straight. And it's just not comfortable, I guess. But I spent so much time setting up those bookshelves in there.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? That may not make any sense.
Bro, I agree totally. And me and my wife have been kicking around ideas like,
you've changed your setup 3 times. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I want, and what you just said, filming at the desk, I would film way more content if I could walk up to my computer and everything was already set up and I just hit record, audio goes in, we're done. That is not how this works. I have to recruit my wife. We take about 20 minutes to set up because I get very obsessive over little details, even though I'm just talking about books. Even this, right now, I have an extra desk in here. Like, I wish you could see how awful this is. Like, it took us so long. I spent most of the day doing it. And I don't like love this setup. I thought I'd like it more. But it is what it is.
I like it. I think it looks good.
Someone said just whenever I start liking Jimmy's setup, he changes it again. I'm always trying to keep it fresh around here,
That's right.
So yeah, I understand totally. I wish I need to figure out a way to balance like the aesthetic I want in my videos and then being able to make it so accessible that I can literally say, oh, this is on my mind. Let me just go record real quick and be able to hit like 2 buttons and be ready to go.
Yes, Jimmy. Like because the amount of effort and motivation it requires to set everything up and go into a different place, I've lost it's just enough to where I'm like, it's like Mitch Hedberg. Did you ever listen to Mitch Hedberg before he died? Remember, the comedian?
Yeah, he's great.
It reminds me of the one liner he had, like, when I'm in a hotel and I wake up and I'm laying in bed and I wake up and I think of a joke and I want to write it down, but I don't have a pen. And so I have to convince myself, because the pen's across the room and I have to get up to go get it. So I have to convince myself that joke isn't funny, because otherwise it's going to require. So that's what it's like. It's like the amount of effort it requires is enough to be like, you know what?
How much do I really want to talk about this
Correct.
book? Yeah, Correct. Yeah. And you have to be in the mood to talk about a book and set up. So it takes, the stars got to align, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Someone said they preferred my previous one. Do you mean the previous one for Chatting with Nuts when I was like further out in the room, or do you mean where I used to shoot like my normal videos? Because that was a different house and there's nothing I can do about that. Like I don't think the new residents would like a nerd kicking in their door and be like, hey, mind if I shoot? Like, I don't think they're gonna probably not know what I'm talking about, right? Connor says, I'm fine with all your setup changes, Jimmy, but no glasses. Jimmy took some effort to watch.
Yeah, Jimmy, you gotta nix the no glasses, Jimmy. I saw
it was one video.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. You gotta fix it.
I had contacts. My new glasses weren't in yet. I wasn't gonna go wear my old glasses because they were 6 years out of date. How about this? When I went to get my glasses, she said, oh, it's a good thing you came in because you're driving illegally because your prescription's so bad you aren't even able to read road signs. And I was like, that's why I'm here. And she was like, why did you wait 6 years to come to the eye doctor? And I'm like, because I'm a child.
I hate it, Jimmy. 1 or 2. And I'm like, what if I guess wrong?
Yep.
Like,
every time.
What if I pick the wrong one? They're so close.
But like, why do I have to decide? Like, I'm paying you and you have all this equipment. Like, why do I need to tell you?
Yeah, why can't you just scan my eye and tell me what my bloody prescription is? And then they're always like, hey, you want to dilate your eyes? I'm like, I do not, but thank you. Because then I've lost 3 hours of the day and I got to wear those old lady roll-up sunglasses driving my Buick LeSabre.
I actually really... Third Space Baker says, YouTubers care way more about their setups than their audience does. You should do your setup and editing like Brian Lee Durfee. And I do actually believe that it's more important to do what is ever going to work for you rather than making, trying to get the right aesthetic. However, I love filming in my library room downstairs, and I cannot leave my setup up for like my normal videos. I just can't because it's like a living space. Like we do stuff in there. But I love shooting in my library downstairs. Like my last video, if you guys watched it with like the Bobby B talk, like I love that. And I want to keep shooting there. It's just, I can't leave it set up all the time. So
yeah, it's just weird to be a booktuber, not talking in front of books. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds dumb, but it also is like, people sent me books and I have a bookshelf and I feel bad not having my books in the background. It feels like people will think that I don't care enough to like that. I don't like, does that make sense?
No, I have to do everything 100%.
Dude, Jimmy, that is our problem. This is why you and I are kindred spirits. And Charmaine said it in the thing too. That's the problem. That's why I work at 10 o'clock at night. I'm writing slides for my class instead of like reading or doing something because we can't do it. Like, I think I said this last time, teaching is the easiest job if you don't care.
If you don't care. Yeah.
Because you're out at 3 o'clock. You can leave at 3 o'clock on the dot. You know what? If you don't care, you can let your kids go 30 minutes before the bell and you can beat the traffic. You can be out. You can be in your car by 3 o'clock.
And you get the summers off.
Correct. Because if you don't care, you're not doing any work in the summer. Right. And you can give the kids worksheets and you can not really care about it. You can just like, oh, they finished at A. Right. And while that's happening, you can sit on your computer and piddle around on your computer or your phone for 7.5 hours every day. And for doing nothing, teachers get paid really well for doing nothing. It's when you're actually doing the work that the salary sucks. So I understand why people hate teachers, like I do, because there are too many people who ride that because there's no competition in South, like there's no competition for the jobs, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it doesn't why it doesn't work like every other scarce resource in the economic world. Like if teachers are so scarce, why are we not paying a premium for them? You know what I mean? Like when there were no PS5s, scalpers charged me $2,000. I didn't buy one for $2,000. I actually finally got one, but $2,000. You know what I mean? So
it's interesting.
Well, oh yeah, but yeah, like we can't do things less than 100%, and because of that, well,
it's like my current job. Like one of the reasons why I wanted to leave was because I wasn't being like I was cruising, dude. I was able to do whatever I wanted. I get my work done, and that's good to a point. But I could have just kept doing that, right? I could have kept doing the money. Everything was good.
For sure.
But I said, I can't sit here and do this. Like I have to challenge myself more because I just don't feel right. Kind of just cruising. And it's like, I don't know. I try not to get in my own way. I heard someone say that once. They said the best thing you could do for yourself in life is not get in your own way. And I'm constantly trying to juggle what that means, because does that mean to take the shortest path, or does that mean to pick the right battles? How do I know I'm picking the right battles? I don't know.
Yeah. I used to write all the time.
I was just about to bring it up. Yeah.
Like in high school, while the teacher was talking, because I couldn't read, it was too obvious. So I had paper out, scribbling, writing, but I wasn't taking no notes. I was writing. And it was because back then I didn't really know what good writing was. I was just mimicking the style of the Forgotten Realms books, like the D&D book, like literally, because that's what you do before you learn. And I slowly got better. But even then, when I got better, I just was able to do it. But as I've gotten older, I don't know if it's just like the struggles I've had in my life that have just made me more self-critical. Like my self-esteem's just been worse. I cannot write anymore to save my life. When everyone says, bang out a terrible first draft, because it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to edit anyway. So just get it out. Terrible, like it's gonna be terrible. That's fine. Just churn it out. Churn it. You know what, Jimmy? Never mind.
No, what? No. What?
I have some of my old writing that I was like,
send it over.
Maybe.
We could do a stream and we can read each other's work on stream.
That's probably not a good idea, because everyone's going to see you be like like you're Alan. I'm not gonna. And it seems weird calling myself Alan because I call myself Walker so often during the day. Alan, I'm not gonna say that this is bad, but I am gonna say that if you read this in a read along on your channel, it would kill your Discord and the channel.
It
I'm
would
not going to say it
stably.
Brian Stably, but
Did you know a woman can't sit on the unhewn throne?
I forgot about that. No, I had forgotten.
I just want to make sure you remembered. It's very important. In case you didn't know, I'm just saying.
I had forgotten.
Okay, well,
the
that's why I got to remind you.
The inner critic's just so hard to silence while writing. Like the idea I have right now, I've wanted to write for forever. Like I've scrapped, like I literally in the story that I have chapters of, I had written like 300 pages more than one time, and I scrapped it twice because I'm like, I don't like it. And so I just kept restarting, and I'm like, I guess I ain't going to finish this. Better start something new. And so I got a new idea that I really want to write, and I wrote one sentence. And every time I switch over to the Google Docs tab that is open perpetually to remind me of my failures, I click on it and I read that one sentence, and I'm like, this would be fun to write.
Alan is Germ. This is what Germ does. Apparently, Germ trashed like a very big portion of Winds of Winter a while back. Like he just was like, done. This is before the show ended or anything. So
that's what someone else had to do that with something.
Oh, Red Rising, Pierce Brown.
Yeah, Pierce Brown. Thank you.
Pretty much a whole book, I think. And Patrick Rothfuss apparently had to scrap Doors of Stone, but it's because he had to rewrite it and stuff. But Alan, I have a story I want to write too. So we need to figure out a way of holding each other accountable and getting this done.
Like seriously, like Jimmy, I read your first story and it was good. Like I like.
Did you read it?
Yes, I like. I told you that. Maybe I didn't. I told you when I read part of it. I didn't tell you I finished it. I like your authorial voice, if that makes sense. Like I like the way you sound in your writing. So
thank you. I appreciate it. I can't seem to get back into that story enough to edit it. I did edits, but then like I actually like paid for edit. Like dude, again, remember we just said how how you can't do anything half-assed. So I paid for like professional editing, which is not cheap. And I said, I'm going to get this really edited. And then I saw all the things that I screwed up and I was like, oh, this is trash. Like, do I want to keep putting more time and money into this piece of work, or should I do something new with the new information I've learned? And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, unless if I make a plan to do it, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. So I keep trying to go to short stories because obviously they're shorter. Duh. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe what if me and you set a goal by the end of the year to write a short story a piece? And I'll read yours and you'll read mine. And
we'll audio. Can the short story be a chapter that I want to be of a larger work?
Can be whatever you want.
All right, cool. I always like I always want, like, I love fantasy. Like I love fantasy, but sometimes I feel like I should be writing historical fiction. Like sometimes I really do.
Well, but why not?
Well, because so the thing is I have a bunch of knowledge about history, like a bunch. Like I am well versed in historical knowledge, but I don't have the incredible specific, like I don't know the specifics of every freaking weapon these people used. Like I know.
That's why you do fantasy, so you can get away with it.
You say sword. Everybody knows what you're talking about. You say sword, but as soon as you go into history, well, now it's a freaking Xiphos, and like I don't know the measurements of a Xiphos, you know. So it's again, so that would require more work. So instead, what I want to do is write a fantasy that is just a thinly veneered, like a thin veneer over a historical thing, like for example, why not have islands that are really just like analogous to the Greek city-states and have them go into the Peloponnesian War? But no one knows because no one knows about the Peloponnesian War. So it's like, but I can be like, I was heavily inspired by the ancient Greek Peloponnesian War stuff, rather than I have a guy named, like I have the people who are based on the Spartans and I have a 7-foot-tall Dalzim based on Xerxes from 300, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. So it's just, you know, it's hard because I do like it would just be so fun. But we should write something, Jimmy. But then I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it, and then I'll feel like a failure, like everything else that I want to do, and then don't.
Let's just say December. Write a prologue.
Maybe.
Also,
The good thing is knowing that Melissa, Holy Hearted here, said that she would Yas Queen my book by immediately giving it 5 stars before it was released.
Beautiful.
We need Yas Queen cults.
I was wondering if anyone would ever remember the fact that I started doing this and then I stopped after just one time. And Amanda has called me out on it and said, "Didn't you guys start co-writing a project like 7 Chatting with Nuts ago? Do you remember that? It was the chef. Remember? And I had you add a line.
Yeah, but like no one else did.
Yeah, and then I just said, I only really like doing this with Alan. And then I was like, and I was just like, this is a stupid idea. And I just didn't do it anymore, and I hope no one would remember.
Look, like that's half the thing. But the thing is, like, the inner self-critic is the thing that stops that. Like, if I had, like, I tend to, when I first meet people and when I first start something, I tend to be much more bold than I am later. Like, I'm the opposite, I think, of most people who become more bold and they're more cautious at the start. Like, now I look at like the video where I was, saying everything can't be Game of Thrones, like early video. And I always love it when people respond on that. Like, I think this is being like, I think this is being a little pedantic. And I'm like, it's not serious, bro. Like, why do people comment stuff like that? Like, this isn't a serious video, man. Like, calm down, like, slow your roll. But like, now I'm like I would feel embarrassed doing something like that. Like, the glory of being able to just sit down and press play. I would never have filmed my video about the boat, like, because it's stuff like that I always talk myself out of. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I always talk myself out of those videos. But I am so glad that I filmed that video about the freaking boat and how the kids like did me dirty by making me push the dang thing in. Like, I had a blast filming that. Like, I did. But it's because I was just in a good mood and I wasn't tired. Like, I literally just, and that room was already clean. So I just like, I'm just going to walk in there, sit down before I can, because I knew I was going to just talk myself out of it and film it. And you know what? I had a blast.
Yeah. And there is, obviously we are trying to make things that people will enjoy that have come and found our channels, but there is something about making the content that you want to make. And I think people like watching you do those type of things. Like, that's what's popular. I love Jennifer Robbins, what she just said here. She said, "My grandmother told me about my inner dialogue. Ask yourself if you would let anyone else talk to you that way."
Holy crap. That's
powerful.
That's so good. And no, I would not. No, I would not let anyone.
All right. Let's see. No disclosure. I've been waiting on the chef story for 8 months. If I have it on my docs on my phone, I'll read it because I don't even remember what I wrote. Does anyone remember what I wrote? I don't.
Jimmy, one of the other reasons that I really love coming on your channel is that I always want to film videos talking about the things that I rant about on here, like, because I think they're important, but it's so much effort to go do that, and it's no effort to come on here and talk about it. You know what I mean?
Well, that is one of the beautiful things about live streams is that you kind of can just do whatever you want, and there's not a ton of pressure, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell people when they come on, and you do a great job of this, but some people don't like this. But I always say, is there something that you've wanted to talk about or make a video about, but you didn't feel like there was the right place or time? I said, now's the time. Like, I want you to take this. Like, when I invite people on, I want them to take over. Like, I want them, it's their time. You know what I mean?
Some people don't like extempore talk. Like, one of the greatest orators of all time, Demosthenes, like arch nemesis of Philip of Macedon, Athenian orator, was brilliant, but he wrote everything and memorized it and practiced it beforehand. He was not a good extemporaneous speaker. Like, if something came up that he wasn't planning on talking about in the assembly, he would literally go home, write a speech about it, and come back the next day and talk about it, because he just wasn't an improvisational speaker.
Oh, for sure. And this isn't everyone's like cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
I look at people like David Lightbringer, and I love LML. He does the Song of Ice and Fire content, and his YouTube channel is predominantly live streams, and In Deep Geek is as well. And like, to me, I'm like, well, what if I could get to that point? Booktube's weird though, because Booktube is definitely more about like the standard updated videos, uploaded videos. I found this story that I started. I'm gonna read it just because I'm curious, because this is me going back to something I wrote. Ruling a kingdom was hard work, they said, but Jericho had his doubts whether or not it was more trying than feeding one. Emptied bellies did more than grumble. Unsatiated hunger is the catalyst of outcry, discontent, and outright rebellion. Sure, passing laws and sentencing criminals to their death was a tall task, but the stable foundation of government was forged in the blazing ovens under the careful eye of a chef. Jericho took pride in his title. There were three rules that could never be broken if one was to maintain the title of head chef. And this is what you picked. Never poison the king, keep your knives sharp, and never give the bard the good cutlery, which is a great line, by the way.
Nice. Someone said I was a bard earlier when you were asking my class. That's true. Sorry. The bard is the one who riles people up nowadays. I am a bard, even though I don't play music. But yeah,
it's funny because the next paragraph is Jericho's disdain for bards was intact.
Oh, what word? Like everyone hates bards. The thing is, bards sucked in D&D until 5th edition. Bards have been terrible since 2nd edition.
Oh man, this was a good paragraph. I just realized what we did here. So never poison the king, keep your knife sharp, and never give the bard the good cutlery. Jericho's disdain for the bard was intact. His knives were sharper than a scholar's mind, but tonight he did in fact plan to poison a king. That's a solid opening, dude.
I like it.
Those two dudes can write.
Nice. We got it. Yeah, I agree. I do think it was pretty dope.
Yes. Wait, Amanda, you're right. The story about feeding people hits different after the great ordeal of the unholy consult, because this crusade in these books, they're running out of food and it just all chaos. And it's funny because I was at a part today where I was talking about that and I thought about this story and I was like, man, that chef idea was a good one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Everyone's like, that's a nice opening. That's all we got, folks. Prologues for days. The prologue factory over here.
Right. That's right. Everyone said such nice things about like, you know, like live. Like I like just being able to sit here. I just feel bad. Like not having, like, I'm a booktuber. Shouldn't I have books? It just seems so incongruous.
Yes.
And then I feel like I'm being lazy. You know what I mean? Like and that's how we got on. We 100% it. Yeah, you're right. We 100% it. You know.
Yeah. It's also weird because like, there's a piece of me that always wonders, like, will my audience like more specific content? Because even with House of the Dragon, like I've never covered a TV show on my channel before. And I was very nervous that I would turn off my viewers. Cause I think about that kind of stuff. And the truth of the matter is, because like, you know how YouTube tells you like when things aren't going well, like they make sure you know.
It makes sure you know.
Yeah, they make sure that you know that you aren't doing well.
Correct.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Everyone hates you now. That's what YouTube says.
I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, so a bunch, like my subscribers, it was like the lowest video I've ever had for like subscriber watches. And the number one reason probably is because people haven't read Fire and Blood. Like that's probably what it really is. But I did have like a moment where I was like, oh no, like I betrayed my sub base. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. You know what I feel like betraying my sub base is? Not filming a video for a month. Like, and it just weighs on me. Like, no, I completely understand, Jimmy. That's why I talk myself out of it. Is so hard to do content that you're not like, that is not like the common content that you do. It's same thing happens to me every time. And like every day that goes by without filming a video is just another like crushing weight of other people's disappointment. That just like, I can't breathe sometimes because I'm so, and that's why I'm trying to hard reset so I can not feel the crushing weight of expectation on me. Yeah. And I really feel bad for patrons, you know, like these are people who pay money out of their pocket to support me and Christina. And what am I doing? Nothing. Like, I feel like a jackweasel. So
yeah, how dare you?
I know. Like, I know. Go stick a pencil in your eye.
No,
you know?
I mean, yeah, but you know, those people are supporting the content that you have already created as well.
Look at my boy.
Also, I want to be extraordinarily clear that I am not complaining that my subs did not watch that video. I was disappointed at first, but you know, the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I made the video like for people because I want to like help people enhance their experience, but also it was for me. Like, I just love, like I told you, that was the most fun I've ever had making a video. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because I am not the kind of person that is going to be like, if you don't watch this video, I hate you.
Doesn't make any sense. Like,
we don't do that over here.
Like, if you really make the content, you want to make, like, both of our channels have a extremely loyal core following that's going to watch whatever we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, I would watch that Fires of Blood if I was watching any booktube right now, because again, like, I don't know where my time went. I don't know how I used to watch booktube. Like, where's the time? Like, I need to watch booktube. I watched like 3 booktube yesterday, and then I forgot to comment on them. So I'm like, if I didn't comment, did I actually watch it? They don't know I watched it. And so there's going to be people who watch no matter what, we put out. Like, you watch my videos and I watch your videos. We do. But it's always disappointing, like, when like other people don't. But at the same time, we have to do stuff that we want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not fun,
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are always quick to blame like algorithm or this and that. For me, I always just say I should have done better. You know what I mean? Like that's always the big thing. And that was like with the I tried some different stuff, right? In that like House of the Dragon video, like animating Bobby B's mouth and stuff. I'm like, I know this is different than what I've done before, but like I hope that it's something that people enjoyed. And I'm going to continue to do it. Like I basically have like something I can bounce ideas off of, which is kind of fun, like in the video, so that'll be a lot of fun going forward. Sure. I plan to use in my reviews and stuff. So,
well, we need to read, like, when you start Vagabond, like, don't go get Sarah. Like, everyone goes and gets Sarah. Like, people like, Alan, did you read Lord of the Silver Bow, which is a David Gemmell book about the Trojan War that, I don't know, you might be interested in, since it's like might be within your bailiwick. Yeah, we went ahead and read that with Sarah Reeds. It's amazing. I'm like, thanks, guys. Like, okay, like you should read it. Well, no, I'm not gonna read it now. I might have read it if I knew everybody was gonna read it. Y'all just tell me afterwards. Everyone's so mean. Like, everyone's so mean. They're just like dangling in front of my head. And then everyone is doing stuff with Sarah, and I'm like, Sarah, why do you hate me now?
Sarah's lovely.
I know. I don't know what I've done to make her sad. She doesn't want to do anything with me anymore.
She wants to do the Dresden talks. But you got to read Dresden first. She was in our chat, remember?
Jimmy.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to give you the whole picture. That's all.
No, because that's reasonable. No, I'm going to focus on this one aspect, and I'm going to blow it out of proportion. I love Sarah. I love Sarah. But I definitely would read Vagabond with you, for sure. And
I'm down. I'm definitely down. That's another thing I do. In like, manga is not what I started out doing. So like that's like me and my friend Andrew just kind of riffing. Like, honestly, like if you guys just want to see like good old fashioned like general talk, the dude's talking manga is like 20 minutes of that and then like 40 minutes of manga, but like it's 20 minutes of me and my best friend just catching up. Like, he just recently got he's like flying planes. Like, he's solo flying planes. It's insane. So we spend like a lot of time talking about that, and he just also got a new French bulldog. So cute.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I love those videos. They don't do well, but I love them. They're so much fun. All right, man. Well, I don't want to keep you for too long. We've done our mandatory 3 hours. So I'm just kidding. We always end up going 3 hours.
I know, right? Dang, AP said he'd read Gemmell with me. Yes, AP.
Oh crap! I didn't even see AP here.
Yeah, he just popped in.
My StreamYard chat on my end is kind of messing up. I was trying to see if I could fix it on my phone. So like, I apologize. I can't really pull things up right now, but I found I can get AP. Did he say something before this too?
No, I mean, I didn't see it. I just saw it because it lit up orange.
Okay.
Like, I really want to read because again, I'm teaching the Macedonian, so I want to read Lion of Macedon, which is about Parmenion. And like, I'm hoping it's the Parmenion that's like Philip's like favored general, and then ran afoul of Alexander. I hope that's the same Parmenion. I'd be sad if it wasn't, because I think that's freaking cool. And I think Alexander the Great's a twerp, but I do like the time period and everything else that goes on.
I could see you championing Gemmell, because like people like Gemmell's popular, right? Like
but like legend. I'm not certain that's good. Like that's for me. But like the historical fantasy stuff, I think is like really going to be, up my street, as the UK folks say.
Yes. I could see it. I could definitely see it. And I think that would also be fun because it would give people a reason to dive back into, because it feels like it's one of those authors people always talk about reading and then they never really get into it.
Did you read Legend?
I tried to read Legend.
And it was not your
I bounced off of it. There were things I loved about it, like exactly what I wanted, and then there was a lot of it that wasn't. So expectations played a role, which they always do. But yeah, it wasn't for me, I don't think, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. You know, every story isn't for everybody, obviously, right? You know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that come up. I'm like having trouble clicking these. Like I've tried.
Yeah, it's up. Right.
Like I saw AP had another one. I couldn't click it. I don't know what StreamYard's doing to me. Geekosity says, have you guys heard of the anime Ranking of Kings? When I say it's one of the best fantasy stories being told right now, that's not hyperbole.
Is that the one with that little kid?
Yes, and Christian told me it is incredible, and I was thinking about subscribing to Crunchyroll just to watch it. I heard it's fantastic.
Is it that little kid?
Yes. Has like really kiddish animation, but apparently it's brutal.
Really?
So, apparently it's like out there. Like I've heard it's really, 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 really good.
Huh.
In fact, I might even try to get to that this week. That would be cool because I got some time off from work. So
nice. Do you just want my Crunchyroll login?
Yes.
Okay. I'll literally message it to you.
All right.
I don't know.
Ruin your watch history.
Don't change my password to when I can't get it.
That'd be so funny.
But yeah, I mean, I don't care. You can borrow my Crunchyroll.
Well, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad that you came.
Always, Jimmy.
I'm glad that you messaged me and said, "Is it time?" And I said, "You're dang right, it's time."
I know.
You're dang right, it's time.
Who's on next time?
I don't know yet. I'm going to a wedding in Portland to see my friend Matt from Bend the Knee get married. So I got a lot.
Portland, Oregon?
Yeah, I'm going to Portland, then I'm going to Vegas, and then I kind of come back and I'm starting.
How often do you go to Vegas, Jimmy Nuts?
A lot. A lot.
You live in Virginia.
No, I don't live there. I don't live in Virginia, and I'm not going to say where yeah, that area.
You live in the Beltway.
I live somewhere near DC. Yes.
You do not live near Nevada.
I do not.
Why do you go to Vegas? So do you know people in Vegas?
I do know people in Vegas.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Like I thought you would just like randomly felt like I'm like, there's got to be casinos closer to you.
I'll tell you what. I don't care about the casinos. I care about the food. Vegas is food capital.
What? I have never once in the history of conversations about Las Vegas heard anybody say word one about the food.
Dude, never. The food, it's like some of the best chefs in the world have places there. I only get
like the hotels and stuff.
Yeah. So I knew I was ending the podcast. I'm reeling it back in because now I got to go on this rant.
Let's do it.
Here's what I do, Alan. I go and I eat until I want to vomit. And then in between eating again, I go, where's the Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings inspired slot machines? And I only play fantasy or sci-fi slot machines. I'll play Dune. They got a Dune one. It's sick. It like goes over the top. It's amazing. See, Scott knows what's good. He said Jimmy is correct. Wife and I love to eat in Vegas.
Apparently, Angela told me about the food also, and I have no recollection of that.
Incredible. It's the only place you can get Shake Shack, Five Guys, and In-N-Out, all in like the same vicinity, dude. Like it's the GOAT. It's the best. It's the best.
What?
I love it there. I love it.
Really?
Dude, I love it. I don't really gamble. I don't even really drink. So when I go there, I don't get like drunk and lose all my money.
They don't have food in the Eastern United States?
Well, of course, but it's not as good as Vegas. Like Vegas has such a concentration. Alan, there is a place that has a 20 vegetable fried rice. It is delightful.
That sounds gross.
No, you're wrong. It's amazing. It's so good. Also, the best steak I've ever had in my life was there. Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse wasn't it, but that's another place you can go. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And also Phoenix is wonderful. I think WrestleMania 20, I don't remember what WrestleMania was. I went out there and did a lucha show with the little luchadors. Yeah, those are good times. Phoenix was dope. I love Phoenix. I'd move there. I really would.
What?
Also, fun fact. So I'm going to Portland, people. And I am going to go to Powell's. Everyone tells me to go to Powell's bookstore. If I can, I'm going to live stream while I'm in Powell's, but we'll see what happens. And I'm going because my friend Super Gainsbros, who's always in the chat, is getting married. And the fun thing about this, and this is why I love this community. This is a good story. I love the book community. I love this stuff. Me and Alan both love it. I met Matt Super Gains Bros from his Bend the Knee podcast, which is the A Song of Ice and Fire. I've had him on the channel and stuff, so you guys know him. But I met him through his podcast in 2019, and slowly I made him I made him a website, and we started talking, and then they are the ones who encouraged me to start this channel. So I started this channel, and we became like friends. And then I met Matt in Vegas. And we've just become best friends. Him and Ezra, I consider like two of my best friends. And Matt's getting married, and now I'm going to his wedding, and it's like crazy. Like I met him through A Song of Ice and Fire. You know, I don't know. I love this stuff.
I invite you to my wedding, but I'm already married.
I know, but we did get to meet. We met in Orlando.
I know. We need to do it again because I won't be there this year.
You're supposed to invite me.
30-something kids in freaking Italy.
Well, you were supposed to fly up here, and we were supposed to do this in person, but
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna go talk to Christina and be like, Christina, when can I? Well, I got to find a time that I don't have to take time off, since now I got to take time off to go to stupid Rome, because I only get X amount of days off a year, and I use every one of them, including 1 or 2 unpaid days off. Because when you're on the spectrum and you teach, like, it's awesome that I get to talk about a special interest all day, but it's also exhausting. And so I have to take mental health days, because otherwise I just can't handle these children. And I also cannot believe that. Like, I've never heard people talk about Vegas for the food.
But listen, Mama Nuts likes Vegas. Mama Nuts likes Vegas. Why can't you like Vegas, Alan?
Well, I've never been. Like, I've never had a reason to go.
I will take you.
Let me tell you what I wanted to do. What I've always wanted to do in my entire life is go see Penn and Teller in Vegas.
Me too. I've never been.
I don't even know if they still have their show.
They do. It's at the Rio.
Then I do have a reason to go to Vegas.
And
Penn and Teller.
Caesar's Palace. You gotta go to Caesar's Palace. The whole thing, dude. No, it's amazing.
It would offend my sensibilities. Cheesy, like I just, I'm rewatching Friends while I'm running around as Bayek of Sea.
I would be giving you a tour as if I knew what the hell I was talking about.
And over here we have the freaking Centurions.
I'll be drinking on one of these big boot margarita things. It has a big old straw, and I'll be like, "Yeah, so right over here, Caesar's wiener hanging off the statue."
Got to stop that. I do want to see.
They have Excalibur.
I don't know what that is. Is that a sword?
Arthur. They have an Arthurian legend casino.
Do they really?
Dude.
Okay, I've been to one casino. I turned, I'm 40. I went to one casino, and it was 3 years ago on a cruise ship on our honeymoon. We went to the casino level, and I spent $20 on an electronic slots. And I lost it in 4 pulls, and then that was it.
What were you pulling? How many lines were you playing?
It was a fine, like all of them. I'm like,
bro, I literally bet the minimum, and I just sit there and listen. I love the Game of Thrones one in the Cosmopolitan. I literally sit there, and it just plays do 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 do, and I'm just like, yeah, like I don't care about the game.
No, I did all the lines, because when I'm playing the slots in any JRPG. All of them, all the lines.
Dude, I absolutely love whenever you hit something and it'll just be like Tyrion pops up for the bonus. And he's like, I drink and I know things. And I'm like, I know him. It's just like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nerdy.
Yeah, I've been to one casino ever, and it's not really a casino, just the level of a cruise ship.
We need to take you out to Vegas.
That was my ringtone, a Persona 5 battle
music. I thought I recognized it.
Yeah.
Persona 4.
Anyway,
game I need to get back to.
I'm sorry I reeled you back in with the very bizarre food conversation about.
I mean, I love how perplexed you were that they serve food in Vegas.
Look at I knew they served food.
Did you think it was cigarette butts and like used G-strings? Like what did you think it was?
Somebody traveled to Vegas for the food. I thought the only reason you went to Vegas was for the casinos.
Oh no, dude. I don't care about the casinos at all. I mean, I do like the architecture, like the way they set them up. I think it's fascinating. But like I'm like a boomer, dude. Like I literally like follow a bunch of Vegas YouTubers, and like I keep up with the strip. Like, oh, you hear they might take down Bally's and put in a horseshoe. Like
is the Luxor there, that big glass pyramid?
Luxor, yes. It's also haunted. Fun fact.
Is it?
I mean, I don't believe it, but people believe it's to be haunted. My wife hates it. I get into the Uber at the airport, and I'll start asking them about stuff in Vegas. I go, yeah, I heard the Flamingo might close down, and I know more than the Vegas Uber people.
Nice.
I'm that active, and it's embarrassing. I'm a boomer.
Before you say the outro, Jimmy, my bladder's gonna explode. It came out of nowhere. Be right back.
All right, I will. For Alan, use the restroom for about 2 to 3 minutes. I will now take questions from the chat until we do the outro. Wouldn't be a chatting with nuts without all the craziness. Nick says Vegas is famous for the food. I don't care about the gambling. I want to just food. Yeah, the food is incredible. And the fact that you can walk everywhere is amazing. Entertainment capital of the world doesn't have that name by accident. It's correct. And they're building a dome that is the highest resolution OLED screens ever. And it's a concert hall and it's in a globe. And the seats are going to be like on the globe. And it's going to be considered the best concert venue in the world. Insane. Casinos are overrated, maybe other places, but some of the architecture in Vegas is astounding. Like first evers in American construction happen in Vegas. So I would agree to a point. Like our local ones here are pretty bad, but Vegas is a different monster. Just totally different. P-Break was on the bingo card.
I hit so many of the bingo spaces, apparently.
Oh, Jimmy, you need to read Last Call by Tim Powers. It's in Vegas and it's wild. Tim Powers is someone I really want to read a lot of. I have Anubis Gates downstairs. Critical Dragon says, sorry, I missed the majority of the chat, but I'm hoping to catch up with it tomorrow. Hope the two of you have a great weekend. AP, I love you.
And same, AP, and I hope your migraines have gotten better.
I think he's on the mend, man. I think he's revitalized.
Good.
Do you realize how cherished you are in the book community? You're a great host, Jimmy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right, Jimmy.
I just hope that I have this ungodly fear that I'm gonna wake up one day, everyone's gonna hate me. I don't know why.
That's literally every day of my life, Jimmy. But the thing is, I not only think that everybody online is going to hate me, I think that all my students are going to hate me. What's wrong with us, Jimmy?
I don't know, but my mom thinks she would like Vegas.
Yes, Mama Nuts. Maybe. I just want to see Penn and Teller. I really just want to go and watch them tell me how magic is done. You don't understand. I am obsessed with magic. Whenever magicians come down to this area, I always go. I always get the front row. I am wrapped.
Are you the person that you're in the front row and you turn around did you see?
No,
it?
I'm watching. I turn to the people I'm with and I say, sorcerer. I am sitting there like this, and they ask for a volunteer. I do this.
So you are yes queening the magicians.
I love magicians. I love it. I love them so much.
Do you 5-star the Yelp review before you go?
I do not. But when I was younger, I wanted to be a magician so bad. But I could never roll the quarter on my knuckles ever. And I was like, it's too hard. But I love magicians. So yeah. Anyway, sorry.
You should read Feist.
What?
You should try to read Feist for the 8th time.
I don't like that magician. I don't like magicians named Pug.
Are you a fan of The Prestige, Alan? The movie?
I do like The Prestige.
It's great. I've never seen it.
I watched it way after it came out. I watched it a few years ago and was like, whoa, what is this movie?
Alrighty, folks.
Yeah.
I gotta eat and I gotta get someone said Nick said it's not real magic, Al. All right.
No, it is. These black magic sorcerers.
Slay Queen.
Yas Queen Slay.
Yes.
Yas Queen. Yas Queen up the boots down Slay. Something like that. Whatever.
Turn up Liddy. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the 36th episode of Chatting.
37.
No, it's 36.
Is it?
Did I number it wrong? Don't play with me. Did I number it wrong?
I literally have no idea.
What we think to be the 36th episode of Chatting with Nuts has come to a conclusion, but we're always here. There's plenty of other episodes that I want to watch if you haven't seen any of the other ones, and plenty more rants to have with that. I actually did have a list of questions to ask Alan tonight, and I didn't ask a single one because we.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I made a kind of a book tag for you, and it was just to trigger you, to be honest, and get you really upset.
We should film that video and then release it.
We should make a book tag for each other. That would be fun.
Dang, that would be. Alan, mine's going to ask you about why George Martin's never going to finish that series.
And I'm going to ask you why Jade Legacy is the greatest book ever written.
Oh my gosh, I hate you so much.
Alan, I love you.
I love you too.
Chat, we also love you.
Yes, y'all are so nice. Y'all are so supportive, and I don't know. like, what is the word? I don't know. Oh, edifying. Y'all are edifying. And I don't know.
That razor sharp vocab coming in clutch.
Encouraging.
All right, everyone. I'll be back in 2 weeks for the 37th episode. I have no idea who I'm going to have. Actually, I have an idea. I need to reach out to them and we'll see if they'll come on. I can't say. It's a surprise.
Okay. Well, and I'll probably be back for the 38th episode.
And Alan will be back for episode 37.5. But until we see you next time, be good, be safe. Hit the like button and think about subscribing.
Like and subscribe, or dislike, unsubscribe. And
I will see you again real soon. Keep turning the page.
Keep turning the page.
I blew the outro.
Well, I thought you were like avoiding the